No, it was me. I was there. Open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Sorry.
Oh, here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Jared.
Commissioner Gannett.
Here.
Commissioner Wynant.
Here.
Vice Chair Lee.
Here.
President Lobinski.
Here.
Commissioner Velarde.
Yep.
All in attendance.
Thank you. We have no announcements. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes per person. Please state your name and if you're a Pocono Township resident. Is there anybody in the audience that wishes to make a public comment? Anybody online that wants to make a public comment? Do we have anybody online? Nobody?
No.
Thank you. Presentations, Mr. Maturja, please.
Good evening. Mr. Lubinski, members of the board. I'm Ralph Maturja. I represented your Joint Water Authority, Pocono Jackson Joint Water Authority. I'm sure you're aware of the fact that the assets of the authority were sold. I think we closed in July of 23. I have my dates right. And the authority really has no business. We stayed operating, so to speak, in name. The authority reconstitutes itself annually, has regular meetings where there's really no business conducted because it has no business. And we're at a point now where the authority has by resolution authorized and presented to both municipalities, Pocono and your sister municipality, Jackson, in request to be terminated. There's a statutory process to do that. You certainly will be well advised by your solicitor as to the process. Soon in Jackson, it's the adoption of an ordinance and the filing of some documents accordingly. So that's the business that I have before you. I did check because I thought maybe there's been some correspondence back and forth. Well, what remains of the stay in operation is audit costs, which would go into 2026. We will audit as of December 31 of this year. And so there'll be some costs after the first of the year for audit, some minor administration, professional fees. But the current balance in the authority account is $55,000. And in terms of your formation, the dissolution that would happen should you undertake it, you would share that equally with Jackson Township, whatever the remaining balance is. So guesstimate would be something a little north of 50,000.
Perfect. Thank you. Is there any questions from the board? I'll make a motion that we approve the dissolution of the PJJWA. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion by the commissioners?
Yes, I had asked Leo to look into some things. That's why we put it on hold. So I'd like to hear from Leo.
Yeah, the issue that you raised, Ellen, was one having to do with liability. And whether or not we should get insurance for an addition, the PJJWA should get insurance for an additional year. The question is, the township is already looking at potential liability since the Joint Water Authority is no longer operating. So, and it's been over 2 years now since the transaction between the Joint Water Authority and the BCRA occurred, when BCRA acquired all of the assets of the Joint Water Authority. And there have been no claims made, to my knowledge, against the Joint Water Authority at this point. And I don't know that there will be any claims in that now the BCRA, any claims that existed before BCRA took over, the 2-year statute of limitations has lapsed. So I feel pretty comfortable with dissolving this and moving everything forward.
I can add to that. I can represent to you that all of the known liabilities of the authority were discharged at the sale, paid all of our bills. There were no known claims at that time, and there have been no claims made since.
My understanding there were some pending things. There was a list of things on that agreement.
All of those were taken care of at closing. There were no contingencies post-closing. I mean, the asset transfer was done in total at closing after years of investigation by the BCRA, Mr. Provoznik.
Well, I got involved in 21. So,
Before you was Mr. Wolf, I believe, and others.
Clark Connor represented
Clark Connor.
the
Clark Connor, yes.
authority before I was hired.
But all those contingencies were met at the time of closing, Ellen?
So there's no liability hanging out there for us and or Jackson?
None that we're aware of.
And could there be, or is the statute over and we're home free, or is there potential that if that
There's always a potential. There's always a potential. But
will our insurance cover that then? If this gets dissolved?
So I did speak to Rob Thompson from EHJ Insurance, our insurance provider. If there are any claims, our insurance would cover it. The only thing that they would not cover was if there was something was to be found a improper decision from the PJJWA board. So the appointed officials coverage would not apply to that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody in the audience have any discussion or concern with this before we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Mr. Matrida, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sal, Hanover Engineering?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sal Cayazzo. I'm here to present a few waiver requests from the subdivision land development ordinance for Cranberry Creek Apartments, which is a land development proposed by Meyer LLC along the 611 corridor across the street from Lindelofts. The project proposes, it's been before you before, but the project proposes 150 residential apartments, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments. The center building will have 51 bedroom apartments, and the 2 on the outside will have 52 bedroom apartments. And the central building will also have on the first floor a 6,000 square foot restaurant. So we have all of the required permits for this. This is the last piece of the puzzle. With the exception of the sewer and water, which we will work through with the township. But the waivers that we have requested here are listed on a letter dated October 23rd, 2025. I believe you guys should all have that waiver request in front of you. So the first is a request to from preparing a community and fiscal impact analysis. And the reasoning for this, the project proposes 1 and 2 bedroom apartments that attract few families with children and therefore positive fiscal impact on the community. Also, the restaurant will bring in jobs and will bring in a good tax revenue for the township. Additionally, the impact on the community and fiscal impact on the township is kind of inherent in those 2 uses. Beyond that, we've also prepared a traffic impact study, which shows the impacts that this will have. This is actually a low volume driveway. So this will have, and this has been shown with the traffic impact analysis, of having no degradation to the intersections in the area. It's a concern of a lot of people looking for resolution allows us not to do a traffic impact study. We're actually proposing major improvements to Bartonsville Avenue, which is a township road on the other side of the road, as part of this project. So when we got the PennDOT permit, we have proposed a realignment of the Bartonsville Avenue intersection, and it's going to line up exactly so it's a four-way intersection with the driveway across the street proposed for this project.
Will there be a traffic light?
No, it doesn't traffic light. Like it's a low volume driveway, so that means it's not the lowest. The lowest is 2 or 3 houses worth of traffic, but the next one above that. So it really generates very little traffic from a grand standpoint. We're also proposing a deceleration lane, 125-foot deceleration lane coming into the project. And in environmental impacts, we've submitted a lot of information. We proposed riparian buffers along that are being improved. We're planting hundreds and hundreds of trees, which you can see here on the plan. These are the riparian buffer plantings that we're proposing, and you can see in the front, alongside and within the parking areas, we're proposing a significant amount of additional tree plantings, landscaping, and whatnot. The project also is being proposed within the existing cleared area. So I think everyone's familiar with the site. It was an old go-kart racetrack and some dilapidated buildings that have since been torn down. But we're removing all of that, getting rid of the ugly fencing that's up there, and we're proposing, like I said, significant hundreds and hundreds of trees are being planted for this project. There's no wetland impacts. We've got our FEMA approvals. There's a section of the site right here that is within the FEMA 100-year floodplain. So we had to bring that up so that it's 1.5 feet at least above the floodplain elevation. We're actually, I believe, 2 feet above. So we're in good shape there, and we have the conditional letter of map revision for that from FEMA.
Sal, your driveway is coming out exactly, was that Bartonsville Avenue there?
With the realigned Bartonsville Avenue, yes,
So
correct.
like a four-way intersection.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly, and that's what PennDOT requested, and it's what we provided.
Makes sense.
We're aware that there's, the Pocono Pony runs along here, and we've been in contact with the Transit Authority to discuss the bus stop location there, and they were okay with the bus stop being proposed where we have it. There's a clear sight triangle required, so we had to move the state. Right now it's just in front where the parking area is. So we moved the shelter just so it's just outside that, because you can't have any structures within the clear sight triangle. And they seem to be okay with that on the phone call that we had with them.
Make a motion to approve waiver 390-29.k. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion?
Yeah, John, have you had a chance to review all these waivers and do we have other people do community impacts that are doing apartments and restaurants? Because we need to treat people fairly.
Some do, some don't. I think it's unique to the individual project. This is vetted by the planning commission, and they felt that John. Let me repeat all that.
I heard you.
Each project is unique. Some do impact statements. Some are very short. Some just summarize what Sal has already told you about the traffic, that type of thing. It was vetted by the planning commission, and they felt with the information that was presented, they didn't need anything further. So.
And Anthony, this was included in the comprehensive plan.
Yes,
Right.
yeah. In addition, I actually have I have the comprehensive plan here, and I can read this to you. So let's see. A growing segment of the region's population, namely seniors and younger professionals, are seeking something different: much smaller housing units, maintenance-free housing, high-end amenities, and housing for rent versus to purchase. Some limited multifamily housing exists in the region, but demand is high and vacancy rates are very low.
So, yeah, with regard to the community impact study, the Monroe County Planning Commission is stating specifically that there is a need and a demand for affordable, not affordably based housing, but more affordable housing, and specifically on this corridor. So a community impact study has essentially been done by the Monroe County Planning Commission, and we're kind of aligning with their recommendations, such the request for the waiver.
So do you know what you'll be renting them for? If you're saying they're affordable or?
Yeah, well, when I say affordable is a relative term. Housing is completely unaffordable, so more affordable than a single family residential dwelling. But certainly would love to have some kind of subsidized aspect to these things if some programs come along. But again, they'll be able to get into an apartment for far less than they could get into a starter single family residential home at this point.
Anybody else from the the commissioners?
John, why would you need a community impact report then?
As I said, some are required, but it would be perhaps for a different type of development. If you were having a commercial development in there, that would have a different impact on the community than this particular development because it's residential.
Well, they're putting a restaurant in too, right? That's commercial.
But yeah. I have to refer to the planning commission who vetted it and believed that all their concerns were addressed.
And the requirement is based on the residential, not the commercial. It's any more than 15 residential units is the requirement.
Usually the big impact, which they've addressed, is traffic. That's usually the largest concern when a big residential development goes in. And that's always part of a fiscal impact analysis, and they've done that portion of it.
Anybody in the audience have anything before we vote on this? Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, Representative. Yes, ma'am.
She could just hand her the mic.
Yeah. If we do it for everybody.
Yep, do it for everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. So you didn't exactly answer Commissioner Ganan's question. What will the approximate rent be?
Bedrooms will be under $2,000, and 2 bedrooms would be just a little over $2,000 per month, but that wouldn't be inclusive of sewer, water, trash, refuse, landscape maintenance, and all of the amenities that we have. There's a gym, and there's some other open space and stream and things of that nature. So given the cost impact of sewer, water, sure, that's as affordable as we can make it.
Okay, and you said you did a traffic study already and you did an environmental impact study?
We've worked in Chelsea, yeah, so they've done an extensive review.
Okay, and no environmental impact study though?
Oh, certainly. DEP has gone through. This has already had achieved the NPDES.
Okay.
Which is
That's what I thought. I heard you say that you had done an environmental study.
absolutely.
Excellent.
Wetland delineation report, and we provided the construction stormwater report to the township.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's exactly, I'm on the housing committee, right, for Monroe County, and it's exactly what we're asking for, mixed use housing, hundreds of apartments, places for people to live. I'm not sure how affordable they are and, you know, what class of people are going to be able to afford them. But, you know, you did all the studies and it's exactly what we're looking for here in Monroe County. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you.
Be more affordable.
Anyone else? You can't see behind there if there's somebody sitting back there, so if there's nobody else. So we have a motion on the table. It's been seconded by Mike. All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Motion carried. Go ahead, Sal, number 2.
The next one is 1 planting island shall be provided for every 10 parking stalls. This is section 390-55C to A. And a waiver is requested to not include landscaping islands every 15 spaces. The islands cause a reduction in parking spaces, which unnecessarily increases the footprint of the project and creates additional, more impactful conflicts with the township's ordinances. The project proposes significant planting and preservation of acres of high-quality woodlands. The additional islands would provide little additional visual benefit. An 8-foot wide planting strip has broken up the parking lots from each other, and parking islands have been provided to separate the parking spaces from the driveway. So you can see on the landscaping plan, there's an 8-foot parking planting strip between each, so there's no pull through spots. There's a driveway and there's a parking spot on the right and left. And then there's a planting island. And then, so we've broken it up quite significantly. And one of the reasons why we don't like doing those little islands that jut out is because, especially when those are curbed, it's a nightmare for winter maintenance. Those get knocked all the time. You see it in parking lots all over the place where the curbs get destroyed. And, we feel that this is a more elegant way to do it. It gets you the landscaping that you would want to see between the parking spaces without breaking it up and making maintenance a nightmare for the snow months.
I'll make a motion to approve waiver 390-55.C (2) (A). Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Natasha. Discussion.
Yes, how many parking spaces are you proposing and how many islands are you omitting then?
I don't have those figures on hand. Let me, I can tell you we're around, I think, 372 parking spaces. That's not an exact number. I'm just going off my memory here. And the only places we provided those jut outs are to separate the parking spaces from the driveway going into the project. So it's more for a pedestrian safety concern. So islands are here. And we have an island there. So I would say, probably 2, 4, 6, there's probably 8, 9, somewhere between 10 and 20 that would be required. If you went every 15 spaces, that's what's required in the ordinance.
10 or 20 at what we asked, not right.
Yeah, there's no way I can come up with those numbers.
Approved by the planning commission, right?
Yeah, the planning
And all that
commission.
information had to be provided. John, you agree with this waiver? Yeah, from what they're saying, I kind of agree with what he's saying. He's gonna have plantings between. It's not gonna be drive-through parking spaces.
Yeah, again, it comes back to the fact that sites are unique. Again, this was vetted. One of the reasons for the islands, I think one of the primary reasons, and maybe the only reason, is to provide some greenery in the midst of all the blacktop. They've done that by separating the rows with an 8-foot buffer strip between each row of parking. So again, I can't speak for the planning commission, but I believe they felt that they've come up with a layout that satisfied the spirit of the ordinance with respect to how a parking layout should be.
Anybody else have anything before we ask the public? Anybody in the public have any comments regarding this waiver? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carried. Number 3.
Okay, this is section 390-55F3A and 390-55F3C. Regarding the property line and right-of-way buffers. So waiver is requested to allow for less than the required trees in the front right-of-way buffer. And we're also seeking to gain your approval of utilizing the existing woods as the buffer trees for the project. We've gone through this before with other projects where, there's no reason to clear acres of woods to plant smaller trees there. So we've done a really detailed analysis. And, you can see on here and flip in that page. Well, yeah, There's a total of, I think, 13 acres of wooded area on the site in total. And a lot of it coincides with the front, back and side buffers, the parking lot buffer and the property line buffers that are required in these sections. And so we're seeking your approval to utilize the existing trees for those buffer requirements. You can see the area shaded in green is the areas that we're proposing to maintain, and we're not cutting any trees down on the site. We're utilizing the existing cleared area, and we're actually planting a significant amount of trees. You can see here these colored spots on the plan are proposed riparian buffer plantings, and like I said, in between each of the parking spaces, we're proposing a significant number of trees. List that on here. I'll read it real quick. Within the 30-foot wide parking lot buffer, 5 maples, 3 willow oaks, 5 white oaks, 5 tulip poplars, 1 spice book, and 2 red chokeberries are proposed. Additionally, between 611 and the parking area, really we have more than enough plantings and trees. The problem is that it's not all in that 30-foot buffer, behind it, but it is blocking the parking lots from the view of 611. Additionally, between 611 and the parking areas, but outside the buffer area, an additional 6 willow oaks, 1 red spice book, and 6 common junipers are proposed. A majority of the site's 94 deciduous trees, 21 ornamental trees, 9 evergreen trees, 58 deciduous shrubs, and 57 evergreen shrubs are proposed between the road and the proposed buildings. Furthermore, 293 trees and 247 shrubs are proposed to be planted along the riparian buffer. The existing surrounding areas have no front buffer plantings along 611. The existing strip mall use on the property is within 3 feet of the right-of-way of 611. Generally, businesses along 611 desire visibility to attract customers or tenants, as is the case with this project. Additionally, the uses across the road include a car dealership without any discernible buffer and a municipally owned pump station, neither of which will be negatively impacted by this project. Additionally, the clear site triangle requirement and proposed sidewalk, which we are proposing, we didn't mention that, but we're proposing a sidewalk along the entire frontage of the property.
Thank you.
It reduces the available area for landscaping along the property's frontage.
Make a motion to approve waiver 390-55.f bracket 3 bracket A and 390-55.f bracket 3 and bracket C. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion by the commissioners?
Yes, I don't know. I mean, there's a reason why we want people to put trees along the road. And I understand other people don't have them, but they've been here. A lot of people don't follow the rules. So we have to decide, what is it that we want? Do you want this hidden or a little buffer for people driving down the road, or do you want it open? And, we have trees in there for a reason. And then if we're going to waive it all the time, why have it in there?
The other thing is too, though, if we're wanting sidewalks along there, you're gonna plant these trees and then in 10 years, they're gonna bust through the sidewalk.
Yes,
So-
well, that's what we're doing. all
And then
this-
the trees also are going to block the view of people pulling out of there.
And we have sewer lines that we've
611.
been requested to put a sewer line in there to, from the adjacent property here that doesn't have an existing connection, so that it can connect in the future. And so we have that to contend with as well.
With all they're doing and all the plantings they're doing, I mean, my God, it's more of the spirit of the ordinance. It's the spirit of the Poconos. So
I can't really see your thing, but,
I have
what-
an 11 by 7.
where is the building on there?
Oh, 3 buildings, one here.
So it's all your part, it's in front.
Here. Correct. And I think to your point, it's very difficult to write an ordinance requiring trees that meets everyone's project. They're just so varied, so many different situations, as your engineer had stated. You have to try to find the spirit and the intent of the ordinance to work. And I'm in agreement with you with regard to the number of trees that we want to preserve in our community and or add to the community. It's just that this particular project, it has a beautiful stream on the back of it. So we're heavily investing in trees and plantings on that recreational, separating parking areas so that we don't have big blacktop areas, but at the same time trying to make sure that we don't have dangerous situations and wrecks and highway problems. So to your point, yeah, it's to write an ordinance and to say that you need a waiver. unfortunately, you just can't write one that's going to meet everybody. So we tried to meet the intent of the intent of the ordinance as best as possible, but it does require a waiver.
Yeah, but part of where I'm coming from is we made Turkey Hill, put in landscaping, road frontage, and now we're gonna tell them, put in the sidewalk too. So they're having this,
They put it forward.
that doesn't matter. We're talking about landscaping. So we have landscaping and sidewalks there, and we're not here. I just don't want to not treat people fairly and equally. I know different projects, you can't put a tree there, you can't put a tree there, but I'm thinking you might be able to put some trees in the
And
front.
they are.
Yeah.
Well, I can't. I can't-
293.
Yeah.
Well, it's just your waiver request, the number of trees that
I
are.
can't
Do
see.
you mind bringing that? I can point them out. And the other thing is too, between the layers and layers, because they're putting those strips in between these parking areas, like a
Uh-huh.
roof for you. When these are all going in.
Those are trees.
Yeah,
each
and
circle is a
these,
tree.
and these are trees and shrubs going in
Oh, So
too.
you have them in the front.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and then
give you it's 44 evergreen trees, if you went by the ordinance, would be required. It's just not possible. It's too
But
many
we put as
trees.
many as we could.
I thought you were putting none.
No,
Okay, gotcha. I need better glasses.
Yeah, that's 4. We planted 25 years ago.
That's gonna be tough.
Oh, boy. Oh,
Oh, boy.
And,
Up to
there
you.
we go.
Yeah.
Live at 5, live at 5. There you go.
So we don't.
Any more from the commissioners? Anybody in the audience have a concern they want to talk about this waiver? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried.
Before you go on to the next one, did you say you have smaller drawings?
I do, I'll grab-
Okay.
Sorry, I'm half blind too, like I can
can't see.
barely, like, I can see enough of it, but.
I can see it up there. I can see when you put it up next.
I can't see it there, I can see, I mean, I can see it up here too.
The next one we request is
Like, we're talking about the tiny little circles of the trees, like, wait, this might be easier.
I can see it.
definitely.
I can see the buildings, everything else, but the tiny little trees.
Pull it out.
See how far?
On that.
Glasses.
What's less than?
What's up?
There you go.
So a similar situation. It's regarding the intent of the ordinance that we're trying to meet, but the physical characteristics require the waiver.
Yeah, so for the MPDS permit, we've proposed, repairing buffer plantings, for water quality benefits. And the requirements for, repairing buffer plantings are that the plants will be 1 gallon size, and tree saplings. So that's what all those colored are in accordance with the DEP requirements for repairing buffer plantings, but they don't meet the requirements for landscaping that's required for township required landscaping. Now they're not really required to utilize any of these as, replacements for the landscaping that's required by the township. But we're asking for a waiver to permit the sizes of these to be in accordance with DEP requirements as opposed to the township requirements, which, 1 gallon for trees instead of 6 foot tall trees.
And that's only in the riparian buffer.
Correct.
The rest of
The rest of the trees will
By
be in
township.
compliance, yeah. And that's the difference between the colored trees that you see here and the circles and that are black and white on the plan.
So I understand the trees that you want to plant are smaller than what we require.
Yes, just in the riparian buffer, these colored.
But
Because
to
of
be
the-
clear, we don't require those trees.
No, this is to meet a DEP
This is
requirement for
DEP
quality.
Okay.
The trees that we require for our ordinance, to meet our ordinance, are per our ordinance. With exception of the waiver that we just gave for those few trees in the front. Those trees in the back are not required per our ordinance. They're using them for stormwater credits. So they're going by DEP's size standards.
And we generally do that, John.
This is the first time it came up. I question whether they even need a buffer.
Well-
I mean, a waiver, because we don't require. I think in an abundance of caution, they wanted to make sure that everybody was okay with everything, and that's why they requested the waiver, but I'm not sure it's required.
I'll make a motion to approve waiver 390-55.g. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion by the commissioners. Hearing none, is there anybody in the audience wishes to come up to the podium? Anybody behind there? Sal?
No, there, you can.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carried.
The next three should be pretty quick. 390, 59B, there's a discrepancy between the Saldo and the zoning. The zoning allows for a width of 9 feet and the subdivision land development allows for a minimum width of 10 feet. We're just requesting to have a 9-foot wide parking space.
Make a motion to approve waiver 390-59.B. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Natasha. Discussion?
Oh, we do it all the time.
I was just gonna say,
It's
why,
good all the
why
time.
do we have 10 if we always go for 9?
This,
Or is that something we're fixing?
this is one that.
Something we're fixing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody in the audience? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried.
And the next two are stormwater related that you grant all the time. I know I've gotten it a few times with you. The first one is roof drains and sumps shall discharge to infiltration or vegetated BMPs. Basically, the roof drains are supposed to discharge onto, above ground before going into the storm sewer. But we have it going into the storm sewer so that it can get to the infiltration BMPs and the water quality BMPs that we have proposed. So the waiver is just to allow for the roof drains to go directly into the storm sewer.
We'll make a motion to approve waiver 365-8.L. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion? Anybody in the
So
audience? Sorry, go ahead, Ellen.
It's quick, Rich.
I know.
Where are they gonna drain them? So you're sending it through the pipe. At what point does it go over?
So we have
Land.
what's called level spreaders proposed along the back of this, and that's to promote sheet flow. So everything's getting concentrated in the parking lots with the curb lines. It's getting concentrated and going into the storm sewer system and being discharged. Instead of discharging that from a pipe, it just blowing it out into the creek. What we're proposing to do is put it into a level spreader, which is it's a pipe with a perforated pipe that has clean stones surrounding it. So the water goes into the pipe, it fills up that trench that's with stone and infiltrates into the ground when it can. And during the larger storm events, it overflows a concrete curb and is discharged as sheet flow through the 150-foot riparian buffer that we have proposed before it enters a stream. And this is a water quality BMP that DEP loves and the Conservation District love because it's the best thing for a site is to have a strong, good riparian buffer. And what we're doing is we're actually improving it because large sections of the riparian buffer were previously stripped of trees, and we're proposing to replant those and gain the water quality benefits and habitat benefits. There's all sorts of benefits that come along with this, but
So this is going into where the wetlands are on the property?
yeah, there's some small pockets of wetlands along the stream, but mostly it's just a stream bank, and so it's going into level spreaders that are located here and there along the back of the property before it gets discharged into the riparian buffer as sheet flow, and then sheet flows eventually into the stream. But it will be soaking into the ground and being utilized as, evapotranspiration for the trees as well.
So you'll have a lot of salt in the winter on that parking lot. And how does that salt get taken care of if you're piping it in? Like, how do you get rid of that?
Well, this waiver is just for the roof leaders. And so there's not going to be any salt with the roof leaders, but the DEP has water quality requirements where you have to remove the nitrates, the phosphates, and the total solids to their requirements, which are 85%, 85%, and 50%. And so what we have proposed actually removes darn near 100% by going. It's basically that riparian buffer. The reason it's so important is because it has water quality benefits. It removes the salt. It removes total solids. It removes phosphorus. It removes nitrates from the stormwater before getting into being discharged into the stream, which is why DEP highly touts this BMP, best management practice.
Thank you.
Zero CFS at the property line. And then PennDOT goes by and dumps a shitload of salt all over 611. It goes
Yeah.
right into the creek.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Anthony fixes it here and they screw it up here. Yeah.
Anything else from the commissioners? Anything from the audience? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried.
And the last one is the easiest one, an Atlas 14 requirement, which I don't think is necessary anymore, but because this project was submitted before it was changed in your ordinance, we have to ask for the waiver. It's to use the NOAA Atlas 14 data instead of the Appendix B in the stormwater ordinance. Atlas 14 is widely accepted by and required actually by DEP for the NPDES permit.
Make a motion to approve waiver 365-13.b. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Brian. Discussion from the commissioners.
I just want to mention for the public's information, this is one of the conditions that we are addressing, I believe, in our rewrite that we are going to go with NOAA.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Anything else? Anything in the audience? All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Motion carried.
I have one question for you. Did you get rid of the SS Minnow?
Was there, yes, the boat that's there?
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
The way it's like, it's something, it's just like the Minnow.
It will be gone.
No, I don't want it. I just wonder how it got there.
So what do you need, Sal? You need an approval tonight to move forward?
Yes,
Yeah,
approval and
we thought we were gonna, we'd like to address some open space
Okay.
with regard to this project. So
Two different motions, please.
Please, what's that?
Two different motions, please.
Two different motions. Well, let's go through the open space funds first before we.
okay, so as you know, this project has quite a bit of recreation included within it. Lots of greenery, lots of additional trees, an existing stream, the construction of ball courts, swimming pool, kids' swim gyms and such. And the project itself, the community itself meets recreational requirements and open space requirements, but we understand that to dedicate that to the township would create a financial burden of some sort and joint maintenance and such. So we would also like to retain that for the exclusive use of our tenants. That doesn't necessarily mean it excludes us of making some kind of a contribution or open space to the community. If we use some existing projects that have come through the planning commission and to the supervisors, and we try to complete to the project, project, and doing some simple division, we take the 118,000 divided by 2, multiply that out by 115, we come out to be 64,000 change. That doesn't take into consideration that we have some commercial use here, so we rounded up some, a little bit, and we propose that project contribution would be about 75,000, and that would be in addition to all of the existing space that we have here. And there's one additionally that substantial amount of less coverage of land than does that project. So the impact is
the two properties are about the same. One's 27 acres. This one, it's about 24 acres. We're only disturbing 9 acres of area, and that area has already been disturbed. We're redeveloping it.
So we consider that even if we keep the math the same as that project, we're considered generous in that regard.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
We need to fix this once and for all. We need to fix this once and for all. So it's not a negotiation. I agree with them. There is also not a requirement that any of this open space be public. So all of that stuff, that gym and everything else should count. But if he's willing to pay 75,000, we should take it.
Well,
And it works, the math works with the last one.
well, I don't know that the math works.
Why?
But are you are you deed restricting the green space to always be green space? Because that's what we require, a deed restriction for, right? If you're not
It's located
paying
inside a
fee-
drainage easement, the entire back area.
Oh,
There's
If we dedicate open space
then we deed restrict it. But in our particular case, what we're saying is that this community will have an impact on recreation. But we provide that recreation specifically so that it doesn't create an additional township. So it really sustains itself and there really is no need for any kind of outside impact. But again, if we dedicate lands to the township and we take them back and we deed restrict them that way, then the town has the liability of keeping that in perpetuity.
Misunderstanding what I'm saying. What we did with the rehab is they put a deed restriction on their property. It's not for us, not for us to use publicly. It's theirs, but they're going to keep it green. You can't develop it. And I'm asking,
Yeah, we can't develop.
It's,
that
it's in
area.
a drainage easement already. so it
but
can't be-
it's not deed restricted.
but
And
it's-
The easement will be in a deed
Yeah,
restriction. Yeah.
The easement's just as good as a deed restriction.
You can't build
You can't build it.
but we have rules that we have now that we don't like, that we have to change. And I'm saying, how close is this? Because I thought it was $1,400 per unit.
Or it's commercial, it's 1,400 per acre.
It's commercial and it's 1,400 an acre.
Yeah, then it would be substantially less than what we're talking about. But again, I'm trying to keep it consistent with some of the projects that have.
Unit.
It's either a
And
unit
an acre.
or an acre. What do you?
It's
It's a-
commercial
it's
or it's
rental
residential, it's a mixed use. And that's not defined in your ordinance. So
But again, I think
This is what we went through for all of these. If
I
it's,
know,
if
but
it's an apart, if it's for sale, potentially you could argue that it's per unit.
What math did we use for the last one that you just did for 118,000? Because whatever that math was, shouldn't we keep it the same? I mean, until we fix this, I mean, we're all over the place and.
if we use that, it comes out to be $118,000 divided by 280 units. It's $63,214.43.
I thought it was $1,400 a unit.
From what we saw last one, 18,000 is what their open space fee is.
Okay, so
Their contribution was 118,000 divided by 280 units.
$421.40.
Multiply that times 150 units that we have. It comes out to be 63,214. So what I'm saying is that, again, trying to come up with a number that we think is, you know,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Very fair, and thank you
Fair.
for that. What I don't understand, Mr. Belvin, you said I need two motions. We already approved the waivers. So is this only a motion for the open space fees
Yes.
only,
Wait, yeah,
right?
there's two, it's listed as one, but there's two, you need two motions, one for the waivers, which we already did.
Which we
Now
did.
this is just for open space.
Yes.
So I'll make
And
a,
then later for preliminary approval.
That should be in.
you should have some.
Later, it's the resolution that's
That's in
the
the
formal action approving the preliminary / final plan approval.
So I'll make a motion to approve the open space fees from Cranberry Creek Apartments LDP 1369 for $75,000. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion? Anybody in the audience before we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays?
nay.
Motion carried. Okay. Leo, anything else we need? We're good?
Coming up on our agenda is the resolution itself, but we'll get to that after we do the ordinance here.
Thank you very much.
And when that does come up, we'd like clarification that it's preliminary final, not
Correct.
just preliminary.
So we have hearings. So I'll make a motion to open the debt ordinance hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Natasha. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Leo?
As you recall from last meeting, we had bond council present, who explained that the first step in getting the money or acquiring the money to be used to finish the municipal complex, in particular the police portion of the complex, is to pass this ordinance of authorizing the township to enter into bonds necessary to raise the funds that are necessary to complete the project.
Is there any commissioners that have anything that they want to say before I ask the public?
Yes, let me just find it here. Section 29, Leo.
Mhm.
It says this form shall be presented to this meeting. And do we have that form?
I don't recall seeing that form. Let me see though, it could be attached.
What form are we talking about? Please help me out.
Leo, is that responding to the form of bond in Exhibit B?
Yes. It would be Exhibit B, the form of bond.
It's the certificate, right? The continuing disclosure certificate.
You'll see on page 8, there's a certificate of authentication. And you will see after Exhibit B is a certificate concerning the vote. And I believe those are the ones that are being referred to, but I would defer to bond counsel.
None of them say continuing disclosure certificate.
Yeah, Ellen, I don't know, and I don't think bond counsel would, if they were here, they could answer that question.
Well, it says it's supposed to be presented at this meeting, so if we don't have it, it wasn't presented at this meeting.
Leo, Jens and I did go over all the exhibits and he says that everything is intact. And he is not dialed on.
We can Google it and find out what it's supposed to look like.
It's right here,
I think it is too, but
right here.
It's just not labeled the same.
It's called the certificate. Not a
I like it.
continuing disclosure certificate.
I'm looking at Exhibit B, page 8 of
Looking
9.
at the final page of 9 of 9 is Exhibit B, and then the next page is certificate.
So I had mentioned, yes.
Yeah.
Which is a confirmation that we were at a duly authorized meeting and that we took the appropriate action if it passes to approve the issuance of the bond.
Such certificate shall be executed and delivered to satisfy the terms and conditions
Yes,
of the accepted proposal. Is that what this is?
yes.
Yeah, whose execution and delivery thereof shall constitute conclusive evidence of such approval. Copy of the certificate shall be filed with the township secretary. And is hereby made part of this ordinance. Exhibit B is the form of assignment.
Correct.
This is not labeled.
Jerry, did you talk to Jens today and he affirmed we have everything we need here in this packet?
He did.
We'll move forward with the. I would say that should satisfy us.
And then Leo, you had approved the bond form that Jens had sent over.
I did. He approved it. I looked at it. He's bond counsel.
But you put your blessing on it.
Well, yeah, nothing jumped out at me, but
And is that part of this packet?
the form of bond? Yes.
I believe Jared said everything is in the packet that we need to approve this to move forward. And you got that from Jens.
That's everything.
The form
is
of bond, the
Exhibit
form
B.
of bond is Exhibit B.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else from the commissioners? Anybody else in the audience want to come up to the podium and talk about this? Seeing none, I'll make a motion that we close the hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-22 depth ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion? Before we vote, anybody in the audience?
Is this bond, Jim Pellegrini, Swiftwater. Is this bond gonna include debt or is this just to put the debt into a better situation from a financial and,
It's for us to move forward with the police station in this building.
More debt.
More debt.
debt? Debt is not being rolled into this bond? It is being rolled into this bond, and the terms of this bond are better than the terms of the way the guy explained it. And how much more debt?
Was it 11 or 14
That's
million?
total,
Oh, 14 million was total.
total, right? Minus the
So
5
we-
that's already incurred.
5 we incurred that we're refinancing. And what'd you say?
I think it's
14 total.
11.4.
Yeah.
Traditional debt?
So it'd be you're just over 6 million.
Say it again, Brian.
6 million? Around, just over 6 million.
And what's the
5.5.
5.5, and that's a
change?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carried. Our next hearing is on our food truck, so I'll make a motion to open the food truck ordinance hearing. Is there a second? Second by Brian. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Leo.
As the board is aware, we've had substantial discussion on the food truck ordinance. We were authorized, my office was authorized to advertise this for public hearing and vote to be taken on the food truck licensing ordinance of Pocono Township.
Is there any discussion from the Board of Commissioners?
Yes, I really think we should have in here that a bathroom should be made available for the employees, who are gonna be there all day.
Well, you know what?
I'm speaking, Mike. You can have your turn when I'm
All
done.
right.
The Department of Agriculture states that, and one should be either along the route or conveniently located. So in the spirit of the state rules, we should at least mention you need to have a bathroom for your employees, not necessarily your customers. If you're gonna be there all day, where are you going? To go to
They
the
have to
bathroom?
have permission of the people's property that they're on.
Right, but there might not be a bathroom on.
They have to have permission of the people whose property they're on.
I don't need to have I don't need to have a porta potty. I mean, if you're gonna use the crossings, you should have permission from the crossings to use their public bathrooms. I think that you were looking into a nightmare, but I think it's
What do they do now?
ridiculous.
Exactly.
They have to have one according to what we did already.
Yeah, the crossings is done by a special exception.
No, but the guy next to Billy's has
He has
permission to
special
use the
agreement with the
bathroom.
owner.
So we've already done that.
Right.
So you're
So
now
why
you're
do we
undoing-
need to mandate,
you're undoing it.
why do we need to mandate something that's never been necessary before?
It is necessary. You
Mm.
don't think an employee has to use the bathroom all day long?
Listen, I think if he has to use a restroom, he or she, and they can't use the property that they're allowed to sell their food on, it's a mobile food truck. They close the doors, they close the windows, and they drive to wherever they have to drive to use a restroom. So
The idea of being a mobile.
they don't need to have porta potties.
I think it's legislating something that doesn't need legislating.
Mhm.
Because if they have permission, why wouldn't they have permission to use
Exactly.
that?
There might not be a bathroom.
You go,
And then they drive to where there is one.
And that's what that's all I'm saying. Put in here, where are you,
I'm not gonna
where is it?
mandate, I won't mandate that.
That's,
It's fine. I'm just saying.
it's too much, it's too much government.
It's gonna be a nightmare.
It's too much government.
this is basically making them get a permit.
That's all. Get a permit and have your health certification.
Have your certificate.
You're done.
And we get a copy.
Anything else from the commissioner?
And allow them to have it open for breakfast.
Anybody in the audience wish to go? Yes, ma'am.
Are there specific places these food trucks are going to go? Oh, Representative Maureen Madden, are there specific places these food trucks are going to be allowed to go? Like, is are you all saying the onus is on them when they find a spot to place their truck, that they talk to the people whose land they're on and make accommodations?
Yes, ma'am.
So we're not mandating where these spots can go, or you all aren't mandating. You're just saying they need a certificate from the health department and pay a permit fee. Okay, I just wanted to understand that.
And it's only allowed in commercial zoning district.
Right.
Okay,
Commercial zoning district only.
thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing no one else, I'll make a motion to close the food truck ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carried. I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2025-24 food truck ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion? Anybody in the audience wish to make a comment?
Someone mentioned Jim. Okay.
It's a new,
Don't change. Someone mentioned about roots. Was that something?
You changed the time back so they could have.
Yeah,
that's
It was-
good.
Wasn't it something like nine?
It was 10.
It was 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
yeah,
Switched it back, I think seven, six.
you know, this breakfast place be good. Thank you.
anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carried. I'll make a motion to open the recycling ordinance hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Brian. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carried. Leo.
This ordinance is one that has to do with amending the existing leaf recycling ordinance for the township. It is required in order to apply for grants and other recycling efforts to be done by the township. This one just sort of, this amendment merely brings it up to current standards.
Thank you, Lee. Any comments from the commissioners?
It's not just the leaf though, right? It's everything.
It's everything, but it's done primarily at this point for the leaf recycling.
So commercial multifamily dwellings. There's a form that has to be filled out now too, a recycling report. And you're required to separate the recyclables.
Pocono Township is exempt from having a recycling center. Some of the things that we did need to change was the leaf drop off events, and we always provide will call service as well. That's always been part of our ordinance.
But if this is more than just yard waste, it constitutes all recycling. Correct?
Yeah, we're
You're talking about cans and bottles and.
correct. We're exempt from that.
We, the township, but people have to recycle. They have to separate. We have to.
Well, that's what I'm asking, because it says in here, it's like creating rules for recycling for multifamily, commercial properties, those kinds of things.
It's always been in there.
we
It's
have-
always
we
been
have
part
to
of our
do it.
Act 101 ordinance.
We have to do it. The township doesn't have to provide a recycling center, but
Right.
everybody has to recycle.
It's funny.
And we don't have a single haul, we're not a single hauler. So whoever you contract with, who's ever taking your garbage or rubbish, would also provide for recycling every other week in Bethlehem Township. My hauler does it every other week.
See here.
They don't do it, yeah. You have to get specialized dumpsters and stuff, and then you're responsible for everything in that dumpster.
Oh, okay.
And you have to pay for it, so like you're.
Oh, I pay for
management
it mine. When I pay my
Yeah.
garbage bill, I pay my recycling.
You have to have a whole separate dumpster.
Ours are the little blue cans you see all over that blow in the wind and you chase the cans down the road like I did last week. Yes.
That's right, wheels on. Exercise.
Can't remove it.
Anything else? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
So what did we change in the yard and leaf management versus what we had before?
Previously it was not listed that we did will call, and that was part of our 2014 grant for our leaf sucker. To stay within compliance for that, the DEP was more concerned just with how we control the leaf population in Pocono Township, which is why we met with the Waste Authority and went through the composting setup that we're gonna be providing up at Mountain View Park. Like I said, we'll do the will call, and we have 3 weekends of leaf drop off in November.
We need to advertise that will call because nobody knows. Even I didn't know, and I've been on the board for a decade. But nobody knows. You could call up and have your leaves picked up, sucked up.
As long as they bring it to the curb, yes.
Right, nobody knows that.
Yeah. You're not gonna do the
Words
yards.
out of my swell, my neighbor puts.
No,
Yeah, no.
Right. The neighbor brings his to my.
Anything else from the commissioners before I go to the public? Anybody in the public have a issue or comment regarding this?
Jim Pellegrini support. I'm from what you're saying and someone finding some details of where I could find the details. I wasn't aware that you.
can you?
So it was on to go for them, Jerry.
You call Pat Bregel and well, call Erica or Pat, and then it gets dispatched to Jim, and then they'll schedule when they have time.
The leaves need to be taken to the curb. We'll come by with the machine and we'll pick them up. So it's not, I just want to be clear that residents don't think we're gonna come and, you know.
You're not gonna do my, just vacuum my whole yard? And so that's,
Things, just leaves only.
You'd be surprised. What?
No, but I don't have a curb, obviously, just a swale by the road. Cool, thank you.
Anyone else?
Monica Garrity, just real quick, that's only township roads, right? You don't do that for state road,
Township residents. Doesn't
No.
matter what roads.
All township residents, Monica. Yeah,
even on state road?
yeah, it's a requirement.
They
Okay.
probably go by there so fast. They're
Okay, I
walking
thought
by
when this
those
came up,
roads.
when we first went to first class, they said it was only on township roads, not state roads.
Well, the Waste Authority said all. of
It
Buckeye
does
Township,
include.
So
Okay.
Anyone else? I'll make a motion that we close the recycling ordinance hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Brian. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-26 recycling ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike, the commissioners. Anybody in the audience? All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Motion carried. Donna, thank you very much for your time.
You're done, Donna. You're done, Donna. Thank you, guys.
Under resolutions, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-34 for the submission of a local share account LSA statewide grant application to be used for Mountain View Park improvement projects. Is there a second?
Second,
Second by Natasha.
what is this for? Is
This
this,
is the,
yep, I am bringing it up now.
okay.
this is the 16-year-old playground.
Yeah.
Are you gonna put it up on the screen?
Yep.
Thank you.
So these will be for, like we discussed last time, it's gonna be 2 different, items. It will be for, selectable lighting, that's, remote controllable, for both the basketball, pickleball and baseball. It will be, IP based, so we'd be able to control it remotely. Also, we would have, the ability to adjust the dimming of it.
So would you be able to remotely turn them off at night? Cause I know that was one of the discussions from last time was we're having an issue now. We don't wanna light them, the parks at night.
So again, what's the procedure gonna be? Because right now the park closes when the last park employee leaves and they have to lock the gate, right? Now there's gonna be lights. Who's locking the gate?
Brian, where the basketball court, the pickleball court and the baseball field are, actually that's before the gate gets locked. So that's why there's such an issue with the basketball court and stuff like that, because it's before the gate even gets locked.
But aren't you talking about the gate on the fence?
The gate is above the,
It's above the entrance to the.
the gate is
right,
above
to
the entrance to the
center.
areas that we're proposing to be lit.
So they can play all night long. why can't they do that now if they can play with the light shining over from
Barley Creek.
Barley Creek? Why do we make them leave?
Because I don't think there's enough light to be able to do that.
But that's why we make them leave. It's not that we're locking a physical gate on the basketball and pickleball. There's not a gate there, like there is at the other,
Oh, it's fenced in, isn't
It is fenced in.
but there's not a gate to access it like there is at TLC.
You can lock the courts.
That's not the gate that we're talking about locking.
No,
So the employees are gonna leave, the lights are gonna be on, and then,
I see. The gate you're referencing is the gate on the courts.
right, we don't
The
lock.
gate that Jen and I were referencing was the actual, the arm that allows access in.
So it's just the lower baseball field, none of the upper ones.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like
And-
that.
and how much is that?
It would both be, but it would stay under 500,000. The lighting is expected to be around $120,000. We would do that with the force account labor. This would have to be professionally installed and signed off on.
This
What
is
do we-
this additional playground?
And now this is the new playground. This is,
That would be behind the softball court. Softball field, I apologize. Not where the obstacle course is, but along the back end.
Left field.
And what's
It's
the
gonna
weight
fit.
limit on that?
this is different than what we saw last time.
Correct.
And it's gonna fit. This looks like a huge footprint.
They build it to spec. So everything is fully encapsulated.
This is past the gate, right? This is up top.
Yes.
Yeah, this is- this-
Closer to Pavilion 3.
Playing big bucks. But.
And there's no township match on this, it's all
Yeah,
LSA.
It's all LSA,
That's
They're gonna be.
statewide LSA.
If we get it. If we get it.
If we get it.
Yeah.
How much is that?
Expensive.
It looks it.
Yeah, it's right around 320.
So what happens? So we get the money to build it. Absolutely, it's fantastic. When things go wrong,
We
we
fix it.
pay, right? To fix it. And if we're putting in a $300,000 playground,
Well, it's just like the
much is gonna-
$500,000 splash pad.
There's less that's gonna go wrong with toddlers and
yeah,
little kids
Then
than it's
this.
gonna go wrong with that thing.
I'm just thinking vandalism.
That's.
and liability for that.
And
But
I
you
mean,
know
you're
what, though, it's-
3 stories up. I know it's netted, but
Put up another gate.
Well, they don't have to
Seriously.
do it 3 stories up. They can go as low as 12 feet.
then the kids won't want to do it.
2 times your body height gets you a ride on medevac when you fall. That's protocol. I think it's fantastic, actually. And maybe you shouldn't legislate for future problems. I don't know.
With what, the lighting and the?
No, with this thing.
Did we check with our insurance agent?
Yes, there'd be no change. The biggest thing the insurance company is concerned with is a pool.
Is what?
A pool.
we don't want a pool, right?
No.
Okay.
No, we don't. You're right.
DCED would love to see you do a pool. They're actually offering free studies, but
That changed a couple of years ago. They
It's a
didn't,
lot.
they said no to that.
Did you say what the weight limit is? Is there a weight limit? I mean,
they did not go over that with me.
That thing's really cool, but you put a bunch of 16-year-olds in there, it's gonna be a problem.
And there's no one actually monitoring it, except for park staff as they go through the parks, correct?
Correct. These are considered manless because nobody would have to go within any harnesses for this.
So
Everything's fully enclosed.
if we vote now to submit for this. We get it. Is there another vote to put it in, or that's the approval that this is what we're doing if we
so
That's
that's what
the
you went
approval.
with, what the other
With this.
thing.
sidewalks?
Yeah.
I like the lights. I'm
Oh, the
kind of on the
lights,
fence
yeah.
about the playground, to be honest with you.
It's cool.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
It
think
is
it needs
very
a
cool,
guard.
but
Any further
So
discussion?
Maureen, are you all for it?
Any further discussion?
Yes, I am.
So I am, because I think it's phenomenal and I think it goes right along with all that you all are doing for Pocono Township to make it a family-friendly community, right? but I hear everybody's concerns, Natasha, Ellen, everybody, like it would really need to be scaled down.
Yeah.
I would never think that it would be safe to have 2 tiers like that. But the enclosed sliding board and like you know, a scale down, I would be, yeah, and not that whirly thing either.
Yeah, it scared me.
Yeah. So no, a scaled down version, that's something that's, you know, and let me just say this, you guys are doing all of this great work. I really wish that you would look into what are the requirements that you need to be an autism spectrum friendly park, because they're not a lot, right? And I look at the instruments that you have at the TLC, and I look at the equipment that you have for people of all abilities, right? And you're doing something pretty amazing here. And I was with my grandson who's on the spectrum in Long Island at a park, and there was really very little difference between what you all have and what they have, except that they had like a board with like the whole alphabet, and A was, you know, an alligator and things like that. And they had like a little more touchy-feely sensory kind of things, which are what kids on the spectrum are all about. But I was thinking about you because you have the splash pad, you have the instruments, you have so many sensory things, and we do not have autism approved really facilities here. You would be like the pioneers, right? I would really, I mean, because Jen, hate to give you another job, but you do so well at the job you have.
Cut you off,
But-
but there is something we are working on. Behind Kenny's Way, we're working on a trail that is gonna be a sensory trail. So it's gonna be a sight, touch, and everything that you would need. So for an autism trail, it would be a little, that's looking for what you're trying to say. We're actually working with a grant. We're waiting to hear back if we get approved for that grant.
Amazing.
That's a
And-
DCNR grant.
Okay, and if ever any grant, always ask me for a letter, a reference letter, a support letter. I can do that for
provided.
any grant. Oh,
It
good.
was last year.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But no, really, I mean, whatever it takes. I mean, I really like where you're going. I really like all of this. And just for that little bit, and thank you for that. I should have expected that you'd be doing that already. But yeah, no, I think a scaled down version, and because my grandson plays on all of these things, he's really like physical and loves all of these challenges. It's really a good idea.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
So this is their scaled down version.
that is,
It's completely different,
Balance Park. It's right on the ground.
completely different.
wait, you just put on something different.
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was just continuing. And this doesn't have the decapitator thing?
So do we have to be specific when we send in this grant, which one we're
Yeah,
going
that's what I'm
for? I mean,
You have to have an approximate amount and what you're going to use it for.
Just an overall vision.
Yeah, they don't ask you how many levels or all of that. You can all decide that.
And then what happens if there's extra money? What happens if we get, if there's more money, we send that back?
Generally what we do, like what we did with the dog park grant, we submit for scope of work alignment.
Okay.
Like they
Before
let
we
us
ever-
do with the dog park, they let us buy additional picnic benches and put additional cameras in the park. So.
It doesn't look anywhere near as fun as the other one.
no.
Just saying, like.
The liability.
What is that? That's
I-
that's like a herding dog thing you go through like this.
It's like a
And- and
bridge
you
you
climb
went
across-
through.
Do you climb across the top of that?
It's the
This would be
vibe.
neat. All right.
Can we go back to the
Yeah.
other one and just see about scaling it down a little bit? The
We
other
would,
one?
yeah.
But it doesn't matter. We're not
Obviously,
fixing it
this-
right now,
What
right?
you're seeing here is a lot more than $320,000.
Yeah,
I'd say
it looks
so.
like it.
Well,
Are we gonna get a rendering of
Yes.
their proposal of what they're, okay.
Yeah, we couldn't get a rendering from them within, 2 weeks.
when's this due? Yesterday?
2 weeks or little less than 2 weeks.
End of the month.
In the end, if it doesn't cost us anything,
Seven.
17th.
So seven.
Is that Friday?
The no brainer.
right,
That's the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything further from the commissioners?
No.
Anybody in the audience? Oh.
Jim Calabrese, so far.
Asked for the.
If we could just, I agree with Natasha, that scale down thing is junk. This looks really nice. And it looks really smooth. And looking to children, the 2 tiers would be too much. We want to take it to 1 tier, whatever, but don't eliminate those you know,
think it's-
enclosed walkways in the front of it. The other thing, look, did I hear you say you're doing something with the dog park?
That was a change in the scope of work for the dog park from last year. We had extra money as part of that grant, and they let us buy additional picnic tables and additional cameras for the.
For the dogs, that would be awesome.
Well, got a dog you found.
Yeah.
Your minutes up.
Um,
Jim,
Season
your minute.
before you shut the fountains to have the ability of people bringing the dog to splash around.
Problem, it's a recyclable system, and
Doesn't like dog poop.
yeah, yeah,
Or dog hair.
well said.
My dog's cleaner than most humans, but okay.
Cool.
Hello, Jennifer McKissick. I've done some traveling over the years, and I really am impressed with the first rendition that was put up. We traveled out to Seattle, and there was this almost a monstrosity of something similar to the first one. So I agree, it seems a little much for that space, but I do encourage you to think outside of the box, see what's around the United States, maybe something that's a little bit more nature oriented, like fits the space. But that was just some ideas, but I love
Yeah,
that you're
this
moving
one's
forward.
The one with the wood, it's mostly wood
Thank you.
based.
Monica.
I was just gonna say, having a 13-year-old this scaled down is not gonna do anything for that age group. And I don't know how old he is, but he would probably agree. That does seem a little crazy, and the kids are definitely crazy. I don't know what we do about that, the rough housing and stuff, but the scale down for the older kids, forget it.
Anyone else? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carried. I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-37, accepting the revised sewer rule and regulations. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Brian. Discussion?
Yes, Rich, before we have further discussion, I want to alert the board that I received a comprehensive letter last Thursday, just this past Thursday. I was out Friday. I got it out to Patrick, Michael, John to take a look at from Mr. Gundrum, who's present tonight, noting numerous typos and also some substantive comments that he had and would like to make. I would ask the board to table this until our next meeting to give our professionals, Patrick, Mike, and John, the opportunity to review those before we take action on this resolution.
And Leo Mike Gable style then.
I'll make a motion to table.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carried.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-38, accepting the preliminary plan approval of Cranberry Creek Apartments LDP number 1369. Is there a second?
Second.
Rich, this was submitted as preliminary final, so if you could amend your
Yeah, I
motion to include that.
I'll make an amendment to include the final preliminary plan approval.
I'll amend my second.
Thank you. Discussion?
John, have they met all your comments?
They've met all the necessary comments. There's a little bit of plane cleanup and of course outside permits, but other than that, there's nothing that's going to change the intent of the plan or the layout.
Anyone else?
Yeah,
Anybody?
they couldn't answer the question, how many parking spaces?
Did we?
But
Was this the apartment building that we did
Yes.
a waiver and it went to the zoning hearing board, right?
Yep.
So this has already come, the parking space has already come before us.
Yeah.
I can't remember the
We
amount
went with,
either.
we
but-
went with the ITU actually, we're above ITU recommendation still. Wasn't it, Anthony? South. We were still above ITU, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Below our ordinance, above ITU.
I think this is where I had the question.
2.25.
The 2.25 plus the restaurant and not using the restaurant for
Yes.
guests.
Yes.
And I'm not sure I know the resolution,
So it was approved by the public hearing board.
but was it? Yeah.
We have two spaces with me. And the required amount of parking for that's for the rest. So for looking into the quarter, we're at 2 for each of these apartments. Once that,
And ITU is 1.75, right?
yeah, it was 1.4 or 1 for Denver, which is still less.
And there was, how many single bedrooms again? 50?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have 100.
Two bedrooms.
It was a minor request. Commercial, OE.
Yeah, we have 300 parking spaces, 4 residential.
I do have that resolution from the zoning hearing board if you'd like to know the exact numbers.
Yes, I would.
So they were granted relief for 38 fewer off-street parking spaces than required, for a total of 372, 300 for the 150 apartments, and then 72 for the apartment, or the restaurant.
Mhm.
300 parking spaces for 150 units.
Yeah, 50 of which are single bedrooms.
And the restaurant has dedicated 72.
Married couples still have two cars.
Anything else?
Married couples still have two cars.
Anybody in the audience want to make a comment regarding this before we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays?
Nay.
Motion carried. Under a consent agenda, I'll make a motion to approve a consent agenda of the following items. Old business consisting of the minutes of the October 20th, 2025 regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners.
Rich, you had missed the bottom resolution.
What?
They say the time period.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I did. Yes. I will back up. I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-39, extending the time period to meet the requirements of resolution 2024-28. Is there a second? Second by Mike.
What is this?
What?
I know I knew this earlier, but now my mind escapes me.
This is for the Grossi major.
Oh, yes.
But we already extended them. And it was supposed to be denied if they didn't make it. And now they want to do that again for another year. Why aren't they making it? Like, what's the holdup?
What, I guess what's the difference? The zoning hasn't changed, the saldo hasn't changed. All you're looking to do, if you deny it, we'll find ourselves in front of a judge in Monroe County.
It's the same thing we've done for Running Lane and Route 611 land development.
But my question was, what is their reasoning for the extension?
Because they didn't start building.
They had not provided one.
Have they answered all your stuff, John, or aren't they even that far? You remember? It's been a while.
Yeah. That's
Honestly-
that too, but it's
Honestly, I don't remember. I'm sorry, Alan, I can't remember.
Sell left.
Hmm?
Sell left.
Yeah.
I do remember they went through the waiver process
Yes.
and they did get waivers, so they should be very close, if not already there.
Yeah, this is for the 3 units up near Camelback.
Right.
3?
Well, he wanted to build one.
He wanted to build.
It was
one,
too big.
and, Sean had felt that it fell into a hotel status at that point, so he did the the subdivision to do 3. It'll be for 3 short-term rentals in the commercials or RD zone.
Anything else, Alan?
Yep.
Anybody else? Anybody in the audience? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays?
Nay.
So who nayed?
I did.
I did.
Motion carried. Consent agenda. I'll make a motion to approve a consent agenda of the following items. Old business consisting of the minutes of the October 20th, 2025 regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners. Financial transactions through November 3rd, 2025 as prescribed, including ratification of expenditures in the amount of $629,893.60 for the following accounts. general fund, store operations, gross payroll, capital reserve, construction fund, transfers. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike, discussion. Anybody in the audience wish to make a statement regarding this motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carried. Under new business, nothing under personnel, nothing under my report. Natasha,
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Ms. Canan?
John, anything on the solar field with that rain we just had?
We were up there during the rain
Uh-huh.
and everything was working as expected. There was a little bit of erosion on the sides of a couple of basins that, you know, will easily be repaired and was expected, not expected, but it's understandable. So, yeah, everything was good.
When are they gonna be done? Because I hear people complaining about all the pounding and all the noise that's going on. I mean, is there a time limit they have to do that or?
Not really, but they're moving as fast as they can. It's in their interest to get done. I know it's gonna go into spring of next year.
Thank you. I think we can probably, for time being, take the kennel off my list, so hopefully that's all resolved. And we talked about this once before, and I want to make a motion tonight about putting heat and air conditioning in the Mountain View Park. The guys, I don't know what it is, garage or workshop or whatever office that they have up there. So I'm gonna make a motion to install a split system. I'll read it here, 18K BTU, and perform electrical work from Farino's Indo Electric not to exceed $6,000 in the Mountain View Park office. Second.
They already have heat in that office building, don't they,
No,
Patrick?
have a little heater.
They do have heat in the office building. And the last time we spoke about this, I did go to park manager and spoke with him and I spoke with Jen about it as well. And his feeling was that it might be a disincentive to have air conditioning.
Well, I agree with you 100%. I want to.
It's cooler up there to begin with. And when you contrast that with the DPW guys who are out, you know, laying asphalt when it's 90 degrees. The board can do what they want, but I did follow up and speak to the park manager.
And so I did too, after we discussed it on Sunday too, I did bring it back to him again, just to see if he had any change in mind, and he said the exact same thing that Pat said, that he told Pat, so.
Cause I thought Jim thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, but
And I
I think it's like, it's gonna be a mixed opinion on everybody at some point.
I thought they just had a little space heater, not heat. Is that true?
They have heat in the office. I believe it's electric baseboard. It's electric baseboard heat, but it's plenty warm in there. And I don't have a problem with heat. I think that's fine for the early spring. But the air conditioning, I don't know.
Are there cameras in there?
There will be.
It solves the problem of it being a deterrent. I mean, my only concern would be the aspirations of Public Works future and you know, there's been discussions of potential pole barn, those kind of things. That building would potentially have heat and air. So I think the park staff deserves the same courtesy of, I mean, even just eating their lunch. If they're in the sweltering heat all day,
I agree.
give them a place to drop for 30 minutes in air conditioning. It's not a lot of money in comparison to the hard workers. In my opinion.
So I worked outside and you perspire because of the work you're performing. So now you want to put them in a cold environment and the next thing you do, you'll have people that are sick. It's a disincentive. There's no reason for it. And then is this a Co-Stars vendor also?
It's not, it's not. doesn't
It's
have to be
under our
red.
threshold where we would have to
Doesn't
bid
have
it
to be
out.
red.
Well. Anyway, it's a disincentive. It's putting the work in the office area versus where they belong outside. And that's what they get hired for.
We do it on our bigger projects that have trailers. They're air conditioned for the guys to come up for lunch.
Mhm.
I think it causes some dissension, like our paving crew. They're not going to condition trailer, but
I don't have a strong feeling either way, but I did speak to the park manager because I wanted to get his input.
Mhm.
You know, he's the guy up there with the guys, and he did,
Well,
his opinion was,
The manager can manage, that they're not sitting in there all day. But I think we, as an employer, should give them some relief from the heat. So they're not passing out exhausted. Not that they're gonna sit in there all day. I think we owe it to them. Everybody else has it. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to, but let's just call for a vote then.
Your motion.
Oh, I thought you were in the meeting, but roll call.
public comment?
Oh, yeah,
No.
that's our motion.
No public comment.
You.
You want any public comment? I didn't know who did that.
We're alternate.
So I'm with Commissioner Ganant. If you have dedicated park employees, there's no reason to think because you're providing them with air and heat so they can be comfortable on a break, that they're all of a sudden going to stop working for 8 hours and spend 8 hours in a little shed, right? And also I agree with Commissioner Ganant that you have a park manager, his job is to manage. I don't think we make people sweat and we make people freeze to think that they're not going to do their job, right? Yeah, I think it's just a basic human thing to want your workers to be comfortable. So, yeah.
It's a different area. It's a different area.
Matt Long. I completely agree with Ellen and Natasha and Maureen Madden. I don't even know why this is up for debate, to be honest. So I hope that the rest of you vote with the women.
Anybody online have a comment?
None with their hand raised.
Anybody else in the audience? Can you do a roll call, Jared, please?
Commissioner Ganant,
Yes.
Commissioner Wynot,
Yes.
Vice Chair Lee,
Yes.
President Lubinski,
No.
Commissioner Velarde.
Yes.
Motion pass. Thank you.
Mr. Wynot.
I'm not done yet.
Oh.
I'm not done.
You said.
Sorry. We need to redo our budget advertisement. It's wrong. Has the wrong address, has the wrong rates. I believe you said you reduced the taxes 10%. That's not reflected in the ad. And it also says we increased the fire tax and we did not. The fire tax remained the same as far as I know.
We didn't increase the fire tax
I know, but the ad says you did. So,
last year.
right, yeah. So that needs to be redone. I have a copy here if you want to see it. I highlighted the errors. So Leo, I don't know what that does time wise, right?
We're still within our 20-day advertising period. Is set to be adopted on December 3rd, so we can get that change with book and a record. The next change would be November 9th.
So it has to be out for public 20 days from the day of the next ad, right?
20 days before the adoption of it, which would be December.
I think it's gonna move their date. It's not, I think it moves our date, Leo. Well, we can't.
20 days.
20 days from the fact you said repeat.
The 9th would be the next.
You advertised?
Yeah.
So that'd be 29 and our next meeting is December third? Yeah, you have the 20 days. If you get the ad in on time.
December 1st
Is the meeting?
is our next township meeting, yes.
You're cutting it tight. Why don't you just go to the second meeting?
Good second. In 2 days, the first.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's December 2nd, because that's after Thanksgiving. That's where the township's closed on that Monday for hunting.
So instead of cutting it close, Jared, why don't you just push it out to the second meeting for the adoption of the budget? Then you won't cut it close.
Then I'd have to go twice, right? Is that twice that I?
Yes.
I'd have to check, but I believe so, yes.
That's it.
That's it? Mr. Wynot.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the solicitor to advertise the historic overlay district for public hearing.
I'll second.
Did we get the planning commission report back? They have to have it for 30 days.
We can still schedule the hearing.
Correct. We can schedule the hearing. However, there's a reason why Mr. Materja was hanging out as long as he had. It wasn't because he was bored, had nothing better to do this evening. Received a letter from him last week. Ralph, why don't you come up to the microphone so we can discuss this? But generally speaking, Ralph represents Mr. Cahill, majority owner of the Pocono Manor investment property, much of which has not yet been developed. And it was sent to him, to Mr. Materja and forwarded to Mr. Cahill, and he had two comments. Ralph, I'll let you explain those to the board.
Okay, thank you. Representing Pocono Manor Investors. PMI is the largest lot owner in the community. And initially, let me say that PMI does not oppose the ordinance. Not at all opposed to the ordinance.
Can you speak into the mic? It's hard to
I
hear.
think pull it down maybe.
Hey, is that a little better?
That's better.
Pocono Investors does not oppose this ordinance. We support the ordinance and appreciate the efforts that are being made by the community members to have this ordinance adopted and this overlay made a part of your zoning ordinance. The only concern that we had, I expressed, is as follows. First of all, there are some non-conforming permitted uses in the zone that relate to the hotel. One of the lots that's mapped is a winter inn lot. I'm not sure what that means, but it was used in conjunction with the resort. And another lot was a wedding site that probably would get devoted to rooms if and when the resort is rebuilt. And the manor is actively pursuing a rebuild of the hotel. So we just want to make sure those two lots, they're probably non-conforming, but the way the ordinance is drafted, nobody would know unless they really looked hard at the map that those two particular lots, which we identified, are really not ever going to be used for building lots for homes that might otherwise be devoted to short-term rentals. So we wanted those excluded from the map. And the second point was to just make it clear by adding some language. You have language in your ordinance now that states, nothing in this section shall affect hotels, inns, bed and breakfast resort uses that are otherwise permitted by the underlying zoning district. So I sought to add some parenthetical language that would state, or permitted as a non-conforming use in the underlying zoning district, so that it's clear that the non-conforming uses relating to the inn are not somehow dragged in and don't apply to that language. That may be belts and suspenders. Leo's giving me some comment to assure me that that wasn't the intention of the language. We're not looking to hold you up, really looking to get some comfort on this. I mean, it could be dealt with in an amendment of the ordinance if we felt it were necessary. I know you're on a schedule.
No, actually, the authorization to advertise just is the pending motion before the board. The question is whether or not the board is inclined to remove the two lots that you referred to and add the parenthetical language or permitted as a non-conforming use in the underlying zoning district.
Okay,
But-
so
Can we limit that to a current non-conforming use?
yes,
Yeah.
Doesn't their non-conforming go away because it's not
Yes.
used?
it's a permitted non-conforming use. So do you understand that would be it is permitted as non-conforming. It's just a question of whether otherwise permitted by the zoning district captures
something that's
non-conforming
already-
uses, permitted
yeah.
non-conforming uses.
Right.
So, and this would be a good time to do this because you have a 30-day requirement on your two planning commission reviews. And so you would put it out, you would put your public hearing out, so they would have at least those 30 days.
The second meeting in December, we
There
can
you
make
go.
that happen.
You'd just be bumping it. Right.
Well, we have to have the right ordinance sent to the planning commissions.
Right, they have this one.
Right, but they don't have.
They have the existing one, they don't have the request.
They do not have the
It was making
requested
through
change.
Mr. Maturja.
Right.
And before we got into changing an ordinance, we had to obviously bring it to the board.
Right.
And I asked Mr. Maturja, since he was going to be here this evening, if he would hang around and express his client's wishes. So the question really is whether or not, and can you sort of indicate on this map that we have up now, Ralph, where those two lots are that you're referring to?
Okay, the winter lot is 189. Kind of up. Keep going up to the right. There you go. No, wait a minute.
It was 188.
188.
Ralph, this is the one that you had.
Yeah, the one that's in the triangle. There you go.
Yep, this one and
So that, is that not, is that excluded?
yes, we had removed it since our last email.
Then, you know,
And then this one as well.
Yeah, we
That's
removed-
part of the wedding area.
so they're
Right.
both excluded.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're
And-
out of.
Well,
And
then in the
what we already-
words of Rosanna Dana, never mind.
It's the one, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's the one that the board has right now, correct?
It's,
Yes, no, this has been, this is the right one,
Terrific.
going, 154. Was
Is this the
one,
one we already approved, or is this, when did these get taken out? And how did they get taken out without? I mean.
Well, they're not out until the board decides whether they should be
Well,
taken out.
my point.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're not out. I mean, I'm getting the authorization to advertise tonight. We received comments from Mr. Cahill through Mr. Maturja. And the question is whether or not the board is comfortable taking them out of the proposed zoning and adding the parenthetical.
Should they be a short-term rental?
On the question of the two that are taken out, they'll never be short-term rentals because they're gonna be part of hotel use. So they're not gonna build a house on them, on either one of those properties.
Do we include language in there to make sure that they're not used as short-term rentals?
I think we already did.
Well,
no, they're taken
No,
out.
take-
Not if they're taken out of the historic overlay zone.
Well, if we take them out, which I'm okay with, but can we include some verbiage in there that the hotel somewhere down the road won't use them as a short-term rental? Would that be okay?
Yeah. I'm not sure how you accomplish that. If you carve them out of the overlay,
You could deed restrict them.
we could do that, or we could,
Do they need to come out to
Let's
do
see.
what he wants to do, Leo?
That's the
I'm
big
sorry?
question. Do they
They
need to come out?
to do what he wants to do?
Well, Ralph and I had a pretty pointed conversation. And we have a disagreement of opinion. I don't think they have to come out.
You still enjoy the underlying zoning
Correct.
is the underlying zoning.
Correct.
The only thing we're restricting out of that underlying zoning is,
could use.
did you?
Correct. Oh, no, Ralph, I think that's what I said to you.
yeah, if, you know, if you give me the parenthetical language, I don't need the map.
What's the
Negotiation. That the underlying permitted non-conformity.
Because they are
The existing
non-conforming currently.
non-conformity still applies.
And
I mean, they can always come in and ask for a non-conforming certificate. And demonstrate that these two parcels, right,
Yeah.
which gets you out of your,
So
Why
John,
don't we move forward and give them that separately?
John,
Listen, I'm bringing it to you guys. I don't have a problem with it. I don't think he needs it, period. I don't think he needs it, but I'm not opposed to adding the language.
I have a question for John, which just went right out of my head.
I'm sorry.
It'll come back. Give me a minute. Go ahead.
Ralph, would you be amenable to that?
I'm sorry, I didn't get
Would you
that.
be amenable to us putting this through the way it is and offering you the non-conforming use certificates for those two lots?
Sure, that works.
And my question, John, was, does that non-conforming use go away and we're giving it back to them because they're not using it, or the use would always be there irregardless? Regardless.
We have a certificate now for the inn, but those lots aren't are not on the certificate.
Then how do they have this non-conforming if they're not on the certificate?
But you can apply.
You can apply for
You
it.
can apply for a non-conforming use.
Right.
So if it's a legal non-conforming, so if they have some record of a permit previously, or if there's no record of a permit and there was an establishment before the zoning ordinance, they would need a certificate of non-conformity. Again, it just kind of depends on what the paperwork in the file shows.
Instead of muddying the waters, why don't we do what we were going to do tonight and then give them the non-conforming use certificates? Everybody knows that they were used for it.
I don't believe we would give you any hard time with a certificate.
Feeling warm and fuzzy yet?
Ooh.
Pardon me?
Are you feeling warm and fuzzy yet?
I told you I needed to come up here and feel warm and fuzzy, particularly in this grand room that you've developed here. Which, by the way, really, I mean, this is really great.
Thank you.
You know, for those of us who work in this environment, to have the ability to have screens where everybody can see is really terrific.
Too.
And
your bald spot.
So now that I've complimented you, would you give me my my parenthetical language and let me go home?
Well, I think what I'm hearing from the board, at least from Commissioners Gannett and Wynot at this point, is they would prefer to keep the language as is.
well, Leo, the language is in section B4, the number number 4 is the verbiage that we discussed last week.
Well, no, the language that we have in front of us tonight
Yes.
doesn't have the parenthetical that Ralph wants for his non-conforming lots.
Right.
Plus, we didn't pass it.
It states permitted by the underlying zoning district, which I guess gives rise at least to the question
Non-conforming use in the underlying.
of whether a non-conforming permitted non-conforming use is included within that language, otherwise permitted by the underlying zoning regs.
Get it done. Yes. Continue with what we're doing and then give them the non-conforming use. If it's necessary. If it's necessary. Yeah.
Okay.
Does that work for you? I mean,
Yeah.
if we can get this advertised, that we can put the two lots back in. Right? He wanted them out, we'll keep them in.
So that it's exactly what the planning commissions have right now.
Correct.
We have to be, we don't want to mess that up.
We don't want to mess it up, correct?
Right. You wouldn't have to do anything with your procedures, and if for some reason I can't secure a non-conforming use permit, I'll come back and ask you to take those two lots out.
You can yell and scream at us, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rob. Any other public comment?
And
Any,
just for the board, this is the one without those parcels taken out.
but we want to.
The 155, 189. But I'm just saying, just so you can see.
Yeah, but we're gonna advertise the one that went to the planning commissions that this board approved.
Yes.
And we're not going to change any of the language, that's important. Because that's a substantive change.
Right.
We do have to give the residents 30 days written notice. The township will get those out tomorrow, but that will take us to the second meeting in December.
Maybe not tomorrow, it's election day, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry, not tomorrow, that's correct. You're right, call Wednesday. Mr. Belvin, Wednesday? We'll
Yes.
get those out and we'll meet that for the second meeting and then we'll put it on the second meeting. So, and you'll get me one last time, get me the map that was approved that I need,
Parcel list. Yep.
okay?
Erica worked hard on all those notices all day today. It was
Thank you.
70 plus.
Thank you, Erica. And, right, so it's the motion to advertise for the December 14th. And between the township and my office, we'll take care of meeting all the proper notice requirements. Zoning will be required, zoning will be required to post all of the affected properties.
And Leo, just quick correction, it's December 15th.
I'm sorry, 15th.
And don't we get the planning commission back
Get that
before before we advertise?
Don't have to.
Because what if?
If
planning
they,
commission
if they,
means we
if
won't
they
do it?
advertise, if they make a substantive change that the board is inclined to agree with, it would have to restart the entire process.
They're just.
But if you want to, but if you want to set it up now, you can. Doesn't mean we have to act on it,
Oh, I thought the statute said they had to have 30 days before we advertise.
not before we advertise, 30 days before we vote. Yeah, it's 30 days before we vote.
And county planning is already aware of this as they've helped us create these overlays.
So when did the planning commission get these if we're just now voting on it?
No, we voted on this. We're
Gonna
voting to advertise.
Advertise. Gotcha.
We voted last time on
Yeah, I
the ordinance
remember.
itself and to send it to them.
All in favor?
Opposed? That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Velarde.
Okay, I'm sure everyone knows that tomorrow's election day. A little public service announcement. If you haven't voted already, don't forget to vote tomorrow. Next week is Veterans Day. If you are a veteran, thank you. If you're not, find one and thank the veteran. Now, I want to make a motion to authorize the township solicitor to obtain an administrative warrant to demolish dangerous structure at 229 Hemlock Drive. It's an eyesore, it's a public hazard, and it's a public nuisance. And
Second.
This is that.
Oh, yeah, obviously,
yeah.
Garage with the crack in it?
Yeah. Now, this is his, a neighbor, but I'm not in favor of us paying for that and we're not ever gonna recoup it. I think the people should be made to take it down.
well, the people aren't taking it down. The people aren't doing anything with it. The
Don't we
people,
have, recourse,
we've been beating this horse for years.
Leo?
Well, recourse is to get a court order, which we, if authorized by the board, we would do. And place a municipal lien on the property for the cost to demolish the building. But that would be after notice and hearing in front of the court.
I think we should go that route, so at least we'll get our money if they ever sell, otherwise we get nothing.
That's what we would do, yeah. That's,
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, wouldn't that be customary anyway that we do the lien?
it's customary we do the lien, and I always take a conservative approach when dealing with other people's personal real estate. That we get a court order as protection for the township. But if that's the authorization is to seek a court order to get permission, then that would require that we notify the owners, give them an opportunity to come to court to be heard. And ultimately, hopefully get a court order that would allow the township to enter the property and remove the building.
So, okay.
Is that what you're asking, Mike?
Yes.
That's what you're asking.
I'm asking to
Do what's
get
necessary.
that, do whatever we have to do to get that building down.
I agree.
And,
We should be in line to be paid for it or a lien.
Absolutely.
Well, so is that the type of property that we could ask the fire department if they would do a control burn on for training?
No, because we don't own
It's not
that.
safe.
The proximity to other
Okay.
events is too close.
Yeah, but the simple answer, it's not like, it's
A lot
not,
of
yeah.
times People
It's
use.
a good idea, but it's not.
To burn for fire department.
No, and that's a great idea. And that's what we did with the Alger properties that we purchased. The problem is we don't own this property. So if it's that dangerous, which it is, we go in, we present our case. And we have a judge authorize us to enter upon the property in accordance with our dangerous structure ordinance. To demolish the property and then place a lien for the cost.
Is this the one that's like half built, doesn't have windows, and is that
Yeah,
one?
it's got, right now, it's got some kind of boarding over the windows. And there's openings all over the place. It's a haven for animals. People have been known to squat there. It's quite the mess. Sean was in there, and I imagine Paul was in there too, looking at it, and it's a hazardous structure.
Have we heard from the owners at all?
So the only kind of contact we've had with the,
Okay, great.
so it is, there's the father and son are named the same, but it is the father who owns the property. They did have an engineer go through and do a assessment of the building. There's significant kind of repairs I would need to kind of prevent it from failing. He hasn't come in for any permits to do any of those improvements at this point, so
Do you know when that was?
when he did the report,
When the engineer went through?
I can, if you give me 1 second, I can look it up.
Huh?
You can buy it.
No, I
Well,
just,
so maybe you
I
can
just
test
want to
it.
make sure that there's proper amount. I'm
I mean, maybe
not
test
for
it just so we know, so we'll get our ducks in line.
like the garage and the other community. I'm not for us taking houses down. I just want to make sure that there's proper time.
This gives them.
Everything
a
involved.
chance Too, to
Well, that's why I'm asking about the engineering report, because if it was recent, then. I mean, if it was, 7 months ago and nothing's been done, that's different.
Nothing has been done to this.
I don't mean nothing
property
done to the
for-
property. I mean, as far as it's
Yeah.
previously.
It was July 16th is when that engineer gave that report.
So July 16th.
That's only 2-3 months.
It's,
ago.
yeah, it's November. I mean, you would have to. Potentially to meet our codes, wouldn't they have to bring an architect in at this point or someone professional to design the house up to standards to make it safe, considering we've condemned it?
So they wouldn't need a architect and engineer because it is a residential property, and because they did have this engineer report telling us the kind of structure that would need to be repaired. He would just need to obtain a building permit with plans that show what improvements he will do to kind of secure the building. Not even bring it all the way up to code, just secure it and then bring it up to the minimum requirement of either property maintenance, alleviate some of the UCC concerns.
And it's not secured now. There's no, there's other boards over the windows, like is there access?
I haven't been out there since I believe it was late 2024 was the last time I was out there physically. They did board up majority of the kind of openings, windows that were broken. There are 2 garage doors that aren't secure. Again, I don't think anybody can get in immediately. Last time I was out there were 2 people trying to climb into a window that I told them that they shouldn't be entering the property. But again, it is kind of a nuisance. There is kind of debris from construction laying around the outside of the building that's concerning, broken windows, stone, kind of veneer, cinder blocks. If someone really wanted to get in there, they could easily just pull off some of that plywood that was stapled on.
But those types of items are on someone's personal property, right? The property that they own, it's not encroaching on neighboring properties, it's on the property that they own, right?
Right. Yeah, as far as I can't tell you exactly where the property bounds are, but it's relatively close to the building, so I would assume so.
I don't,
Yeah, it hasn't been very.
It's been 3 months.
Anybody else? Anybody in the public have any questions or comments? Yep.
Yeah, roll call vote.
I have another question after.
I am with Natasha as far as properties go and everything, and maybe too much government coming in. And I looked up the property and it looks, but down the road from me, there's a trailer that nobody lives in. We have a drug rehab that now people are just leaving the drug rehab and it's court ordered and whatever else, and they could be squatting in it. Like, what are the rules? Are we like spotting out? Like, do you know the trailer? If you're on 715 before the intersection of 314, there's a trailer on the right-hand side. It's been there about 25, 30 years.
It has the tractor trailer that parks out in front of it occasionally.
Yep, which has been gone now for a while, but there's spray paint, the windows aren't closed in. I mean, and now we're getting people from the drug rehab that are just leaving. They don't give them rides. So that could be a squatting thing. So I just don't know, like, are we just spot picking different places? Because this place has been there forever.
Again, the zoning office mostly works off of complaints from property owners. So
Okay.
at this point, I'm not aware of a complaint of that
So I
property.
should take pictures and bring it into you?
You can either email them at zoning.
Lives there. Nobody's lived there for a very long time.
So this is a complaint now.
It's a complaint now.
Yeah.
And I'll take pictures and bring them to you, but it's now that I know that the drug rehab has changed hands and we have people who just leave the drug rehab. One was arrested because they had a warrant out for their arrest. And I'm thinking this could possibly be a place for them to hang out. So if I take pictures, and bring them to you?
There are a couple different levels to the enforcement that the township can act
Okay.
upon. There's the property maintenance to get some of the graffiti.
Right, they
maintain
don't
the
mow,
outside.
they don't do that stuff. I'm just
There's-
thinking that property I looked up looks in better shape than the one that's down. from me.
You then have the UCC, which can we can order to have it secured. It can board up any windows, doors, secure it from entry from again, it's a attractive nuisance is what they call it.
Yeah.
And then there's the kind of dangerous structure ordinance that we're talking about today regarding this property.
Cause that property looks in better condition than the one down the road.
Mm-hmm.
I just, if we're picking different places, that's one.
I do to kind of address some of the concerns. The engineer report, there's the main girder beam of that house is essentially floating. There's the no footings for the lolly columns. Significant kind of water damage, rot to all of the wood and framing within the building.
Are you
Again,
talking about the hemlock one?
the hemlock? Yes. As far as you're aware, we would have to get again, in order to do a dangerous structure ordinance of this nature, we'd have to get approval from the board. We would then do an investigation,
Okay.
create a memo. They would then act on that memo.
I mean, if they're gonna reassess, maybe I should keep it there, right?
Never know.
But now I'll bring you pictures if you want.
Yeah. Commissioner Velarde, if you could just make a amendment, it's not Hemlock Road, it's Hemlock Drive.
Oh,
Hemlock Road.
it's at the corner of Hemlock Road and Hemlock.
It,
Court.
it is Drive in the GIS.
Oh,
So Google-
okay.
Google must have it wrong. It is Hemlock Drive, yep.
Any,
Never mind. you're
any
good.
more comments? Take a roll call vote?
Commissioner Gannett,
No.
Commissioner Wynat,
No.
Vice Chair Lee.
No.
President Lubinski.
No.
Well, I'm a yes, but is what it is.
So. And my nose for taking the structure down, I mean, I would like to. Set a time frame for them to become compliant in some way. Kind of like a last and final letter. But I mean, if they just had an engineer in July, I don't think November is enough time. I mean, they could potentially be trying to do a home equity
They've
loan,
been-
those kinds of
They've
things.
been messing with this building for 30 years.
But if I remember all the conversations that were had, they didn't respond, refused to go out to the property. If they've actually had an engineer there,
The owner's incarcerated. That's
I
part.
thought the son was
The
incarcerated.
son is incarcerated.
So-
The owner did come to the township at one point when we initially did the.
Parents are paying the tax, it was the son's house.
They're trying to do something.
Well, not necessarily.
Potentially.
Well, then why don't we just send them a letter, giving them 6 months?
It's the end of the year.
Well, give them 6 months from the date of the letter to comply and bring the building up to standards.
We've kind of gone back and forth, multiple property maintenance ordinances. This was kind of the last kind of straw to get things moving, which I guess he got the engineer because he realized the severity of the situation. We can send another property maintenance ordinance, NOV, that could give him 30 days to bring the property into compliance. Then the township could move towards a civil matter. That would give him additional time to kind of bring the property up to standards.
What's compliance stuff?
So it would need to meet all the relevant requirements of the property maintenance, so secure from whether it wouldn't be a blight to the neighborhood. All the trash, construction debris would have to be cleaned up, things of that nature. They wouldn't need to completely fix the structure, just secure it and make the outside look as if it's not half built.
30 days isn't enough to do all that, I don't think, not in the winter.
But at least pull a permit.
At least get a permit or some type of.
Something.
Something to let us know they're gonna do something. Or then we go,
Give him 60 days then. Give him
Yeah.
60 days to come in, to pull a permit with the intention that he's gonna fix it. I mean, I.
Generally, that
think that-
30-day initial period, generally it takes additional time once we file the civil. It's generally 3 months before we get in front of a judge. So they would have additional time beyond.
that would be the 6 months that you're saying, 3 more months. They've already had.
We do have kind of discretion when it comes to if he does come in contact with us and says he's starting to pull permits or get a design professional, we can hold off on actually filing the civil suit. That 30 days would just be at that point, we'd be able to file.
And if he pulls a permit, how long does he have to complete the work?
So the PAUCC allows them, as long as he starts work within 6 months of the issuance of the permit, he has, and doesn't stop work for more than 6 months at any given time, he's good for 5 years.
5 years, I knew that. I just wanted the other board members to hear that.
If you take the person's house down there to cut their knees, so
Send them over, send and have
if
Jerry
we can
craft
get
a
them to
letter.
fix it,
If
it's
you're-
better than tearing it down,
We have,
in my opinion.
do we have the board's opinion to grab Jerry or Leo craft a letter?
Yeah, Leo, would you like to send a form of motion?
I don't think it has to be, it's just administrative, I mean, I'll personally correct the letter.
And what type of time frame do we want to agree with that he has to comply with, guys?
First of the year gives them just shy of.
Yes.
5, 6 months from his engineer report. Obviously, the engineer didn't go out on a day's notice, so sometime in June, he contacted the engineer.
And
First of the year, it's time to, get
January,
over, get off the pot.
January 2nd?
Yeah.
Yeah. January 2nd, 26.
Got it.
Thank you. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Anything else? I think you had a couple- oh, that was a lot, but
Yeah, that was it. Don't forget to vote. And remember that you can vote your way into socialism, but you have to shoot your way out.
Oh, Mike.
reports, Mr. Belvin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Not too many things tonight. First, we have we unveiled it just about 2 weeks ago, up over at Kenny's Way in the back closer to the barn. Mr. Kistler's Carriage Stone, which was the landmark when you would pull up to Glenwood Hall years ago. So if you follow the Facebook, you've seen the wellhead that we featured, and prior to that, it was the fountain, and now we've got the stone. And over the next couple of weeks, you'll see Public Works installing plaques, basically the verbiage that you read on Facebook, when we restored it and restored by Public Works. So that all goes towards the historical walk that's being created on the Glenwood Hall property. The Glenwood Hall sign for that aspect of the park that will match the PLC park sign. That'll be going up next week as well. Next thing, we had talked about PennDOT and the 715 realignment. PennDOT has announced that they've decided to jackhammer through the mountain, and they're not proposing a road closure. So thank the Lord. Continuing with PennDOT, the Route 611 Safety Traffic Corridor Study that we are participating in with the NEPA Alliance. They are going to do an open house for public review. That will be January 21st here at this building in this room at 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And the last thing that I have is just the Monroe County 250 PA update. Over this past Saturday, we had a small Civil War reenactment encampment, I should say, set up. It was a little windy. They had a bunch of tents and stuff set up, and one big gust of wind took it all down. But it was nice. They had a couple gun salutes. They had a drum and fife player playing. It was just neat to see, the way people lived back then, with Sullivan's March being so essential throughout Monroe County. We felt it would be a perfect spot to do it. So thank you to Jen and Commissioner Parker for helping arrange that. And bearing other questions, that's all I have.
Anybody have anything for Jerry?
I
Public
have a
Works.
question. I have a question. For the board, for Jared. I noticed like the Glenwood Hall is all lit up. And so is the township building, and I'm wondering, can we do our lights on a timer so that they're not
Yeah.
burning all night long? Because every time I go by, they're on. Or are they on for a purpose?
The decorative light outside of
The purple lights all the way in the back. I'm just,
they're on a
lights in
timer.
general, because when do they go off? Because I never seen them off.
I'll have to ask Mitch, the Assistant Public Works
I
Foreman.
just
He
noticed our
handles the
electric
lighting.
bill was high. So I don't.
That was due to, there were 5 different accounts that were part of that. And when we converted the accounts, one was missed. So that was to that $645 bill was spread out over the past 11 months. So it really wasn't that high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, we got overhead on this building, overhead on that one, and then overhead.
Well, these
at
lights
the
are on
old-
a timer too. That's part of the Johnson control system.
The LEDs?
Yes, and we received a $3,600 rebate from the LEDs in this building as well.
They still should be on all night, but they're probably $5 a month.
Well, it's sun up to sundown for this building. And I'll get back to you on what Mitch has the settings at for the decorative lighting. But everything is LED.
Thank you.
Mr. Bradel. Thank you, sir. Just a few items on the sewer side. We did the carbon replacement at Pump Station 5. Began that today. We actually removed the carbon from the large odor containment system there. The new carbon will be received Wednesday, and I hope to get that installed on Thursday. We continue to do our air release valve maintenance and replacement. And we also performed the regularly scheduled meter calibration. That was last week. You probably have seen that we continue to work on the water and sewer service lateral for this building. We're almost complete with that. I am waiting for the boring contractor so that we can bore under Route 715 to connect to our sewer main. The water line is connected at the water meter pit, thanks to BCRA. Working with our guys, we got that accomplished. So we're getting close on that project. I hope by next week we'll have water in this building from BCRA. Few other items, as Jared mentioned earlier, the leaf cleanup in the township has begun. We've received some calls already, and we're going to be doing the drop-off program this year. So I'm looking forward to that and to see what kind of participation. We did some tree removal along township roads, along Munch, along McKay, one up on Staden that were dangerous trees. We got those taken care of. We were able to winterize the water supplies at the park. And I know Jen is going to speak about a report on the parking program that we instituted this summer. Recall, board, that I told you sometime in the fall we'd be giving you an update. So I'll let Jen speak to that unless there's any other questions for me.
I did have one, if you
Sure.
could, for our audience, and Jared had told me there's work being done on Staden Road, I guess, for Core 5. Can you just explain what's going on to the public?
So,
Yeah.
so today there was work being done on Staden that was related to utility connection to the car wash that's there. So, yeah, so they were, and they actually, I was in a pre-construction meeting. They wanted to shut down the road, and I told them there's no way you're gonna shut down the road.
Saw they had portable traffic lights. I was wondering how those were going.
Yeah, so I
So
said,
they're
no,
not 611.
I said, that's a non-starter. So they agreed to cooperate and have a one-lane access. It should take a couple days before that's complete. We had our engineer as an inspection out there. BCRA was there for the water connection. So I expect in a couple days it'll be completed.
So
with
there
that.
was a sign up, what is that for?
That's for them.
But
I-
down,
I didn't see the sign.
on the left, if you're going in on the left-hand side, it's right on the border of my property, but it was facing the other way. It's facing, you would read it coming out of Staden
That's
towards
for the
6.
VCR. That's for the Valvoline they're doing a water sewer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the water, excuse me, the car wash that is just a little further north on the left-hand side of Route 611.
Right.
They're actually getting their water and sewer connection from Staden Road. The water is on the south side, the sewer manholes on the north side, but both require PennDOT right-of-way work. So we coordinated this with PennDOT, their contractor, and so far so good.
So it's both of them working.
Yes.
Yes, Core 5 is doing surveying at the moment. But
Okay. Okay. They have the March number 4. Arrow 2.
That's not, yeah, that's not what I was referring to.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was referring to.
The
For them, the core five,
Oh,
I
okay.
guess, yeah. Yeah. So do you know what's going on past there?
I don't know, but I can inquire, or maybe our township engineer might know.
Mike, I see you're still dialed in. Do you have any update on the Core 5 sewer connection?
Okay,
Yeah, we
my understanding is they're,
Mike, you're coming through all jarbled. Mike, could you repeat that? We didn't hear you.
His internet.
Yeah, Mike, you must be in a bad area. You're coming through all
Your cell phone.
all jarbled.
What was the question again?
What are they doing up there on Staten Road, for core five?
That would be hard to say without seeing it. We did have the pre-construction meeting. So they are moving forward. There could be a lot of layout being done. You saw markings and arrows. Is that what I heard you say?
Could be a manhole
Yeah,
designation.
it could be anything. It could be a benchmark for survey work. It could be a manhole. I don't know.
That's still on our radar.
On your right of way or on the right of way of Staten? Well, they are doing work on Staten Road in connection with their project. So I'm sure it's relative to that. I just can't tell you exactly what it is without seeing it.
Oh, here down there. Now it's a week later and they're doing.
I was not part of the conversation, but he may have been referring to the completion of the project. I would think he's referring to the completion of the project because. Yeah.
Can you hear me now? I switched my connection.
Yes, Mike, you are loud and clear.
Perfect. My understanding is the work along Staten is not likely to start until spring. It's just going to be the water and sewer line, or really sewer line extension only. So I'd be surprised if we see work on Staten start until spring. I have not heard otherwise at this point in time.
There.
They might be doing layout, but there might be surveyors working there. I don't know, but I can inquire. Right. You know what, Cheryl, I'll take a look, even though the township's closed tomorrow, I still have some stuff I gotta do. So I'll take a ride out there and I'll look at it. Sure, understood. Yep, I'll take a look at it tomorrow for you. Okay.
Thanks.
You will.
Ready? No, done. Okay, Mr. I'm sorry, Jennifer Gambino.
Thank you. Before I get into the parking feedback, I just wanted to go through the events. We had our first ever Oktoberfest. That was so much fun. I was a little hesitant on it. I didn't know how it was gonna go, but it was a good time. We had our spooky walk for the second time. We did it for 2 days. We thought maybe it would relieve some of the people coming on the night, but we still had over 400 people both nights. So that was great. We had our trunk or treat. I would say we held it here. First event we had on the new property, we probably had about over 1,000 people come out to this event. It was a lot of fun. Definitely seeing how the flow of the parking lot goes and how events will be here. So that gives us a learning curve with it. This Saturday, we at 7 p.m. at Mountain View Park, we have our stargazing. It's actually a lot of fun. I know, Rich, you've come out to it before. You look through this huge telescope, and if one of the planets are out, you're able to see it. The first year we saw Saturn and we were able to see all the rings around it. So it's a really cool event if you're into that type of stuff. And then some events to look forward to. Our tree lighting is December 5th and our Magic Mistletoe Market is December 6th. And then everybody got a form that I gave out about the parking feedback. Obviously we were in the negative for it this time, but also just to keep in mind that we did start it a little bit later than we did anticipate to start it due to finding staffing for it. And then we also ran into some technical difficulties. So there were a couple of days where we weren't able to charge for the parking. But overall, I'll just give you some pros and cons that I heard, and I sat down with the park manager to go over. Some of the pros were residents were really happy to see that we were charging for the parking. Very minimal pushback from the public overall. It provides a potential revenue stream to support park maintenance and events. And it creates accountability and discourages people from actually trashing the park. So we didn't have as much of issues with the park being trashed like we have in the past, or people giving us some pushback. It was a lot smoother in that sense. Some cons, it does not fully prevent people from parking at the bottom and walking up because of how high it is and where the level was to have somebody sit and collect the fee. Anybody who's down at the pickleball courts or basketball courts obviously don't pay. So that shows a little bit of inconsistency with that. It might discourage some casual visitors who maybe just might be here for a little bit and want to go to the park. So maybe they might not come because of the fee. And the only actual negative feedback that we've heard from the public was maybe it wasn't advertised enough beforehand. So that's obviously something that we would have to work at. And my overall opinion is I think we should give it one more solid year shot and see how it does, starting it on the date that we want to start it at, and hopefully have no more technical difficulties. But if anybody has any questions.
So I'm not in favor of it, but I understand I'm not in favor of it. And I don't think we're ever gonna make money because the cost of having somebody sit there and I don't want to say not do anything, but there's so many other things that could be done.
Right.
I don't think it's worth it. And I don't think we should charge for it. And I don't know why the board decided in the new budget to go back to it. I don't know how that decision was arrived at because I thought most of us said we didn't want it. So I'm not sure how that happened or why that happened. But thank you for the feedback because it's good to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
So obviously I was the person who suggested this and I'm an advocate for it. I don't think the goal was to make money off of the parking fee. So as long as it sustains itself and it's doing its job of deterring people from trashing the parks that the township residents have to pay to clean up, it's doing its job. I don't think it was ever geared as a revenue stream. I mean, that's my take on it.
You know, that deterred people. Why would that deter people?
So it deterred people because they actually had to pay to come in the park. So they cared a little more. I mean, Patrick made comments on it, the park manager, Jen said it. So the overall park staff has said it has helped the accountability within the park. Okay.
I'm sorry. He was trying to tell me something and I couldn't get it. I'm sorry.
No, that was one of the responses from the park staff, is that it
It did.
greatly reduced the litter and clutter.
That was the pros and cons that I came up with was talking with the park staff themselves and hearing all their feedback. And that was one of the biggest things was there was not as much trash in the parks. There was not as much damage to our equipment. Like it was definitely a lot better. This was the best season that they've seen with this. So I can't say it's for sure because of the paid parking or if it's because, hey, we just had a good year, but there was a lot less of the staff having to clean up messes.
Well, I gotta believe that if you're paying to get in somewhere, you got skin in the game.
Most accountability.
And your accountability, and it's a different kind of person that's gonna go into the park, and they're probably not gonna leave their garbage all over the place. They're gonna put it in the trash cans. They're gonna respect the equipment, and it's it's a fee for people who don't live in Monroe County.
And that's the most important part,
And-
is
and
Monroe County residents
if-
are free. to
Exactly,
This
exactly.
is the part that we have baseball and soccer that are coming in, that their grandparents could live right over the bridge in New Jersey, not to pay $10.
But if they're for an
But
event, they don't pay.
We don't charge anybody who's coming for a sporting,
Pavilions.
the sports or the pavilions. And so this is the fees that were excluding all that too. So we definitely would not charge anybody who was coming to watch their their grandchild play soccer. As long as they said that they were with that league, they were able to go up.
Again, Monroe County's free, and if you're coming for an event, you get in for free. But why should our tax dollars pay for people from out of the area?
Tax dollars help pay.
So, correct. However, if they're coming into our parks and by charging the fee, it's offsetting trash, it's help
not.
offsetting. Oh, okay, literally Jen just said
Well,
it is
do we-
helping offset the trash, but
Where do
I'm
we
not
have
gonna
more
argue.
people up there?
Oh, I meant the cost. I meant the cost, not the trash itself. What were you saying? Were you done?
Anybody else have anything for Jen?
Nope.
Jen, thank you.
Mhm.
Townships or zoning? Paul?
So this last 2 weeks, it's been a little slow for permits. As you guys know, the TDU license have kind of expired on the 31st. So at this point versus last year, we're roughly 33 additional TDUs that haven't gotten a license. So we will be sending out notices and checking to make sure if they're still listing him. As far as enforcement actions, a handful of TDUs. We did close the 165 Kevin's Lane today. As far as civil hearings, the Brooklyn Fireworks versus Pocono Township Hearing Board, the Court of Common Pleas denied that appeal. So they upheld the zoning hearing board's decision on that. So we'll be working with Leo's office to kind of handle that.
How long do they have, Paul, to remove the, if they don't appeal, they have 30 days to appeal?
Yes.
So we have to wait 30 more days to see if, before they have to remove those trailers.
That's correct, Rich.
Okay, thank you.
Beyond that, we've had a handful of the commercial construction, the Brooklyn Spa, or excuse me, Brookdale Spa. Like I said last time, MCTA and the Fountain Court are coming to get their permits. So there should be, Fountain Court should be this week at some time. MCTA, we're still waiting on final approval for land development, but they're close. If the board has any comments or questions, I'll gladly answer them.
Did I know you mentioned something in the beginning, I was saying something, Natasha, did the TDU in Pocono Manor come back to renew their license?
So I am working with him. I have kind of discussion back and forth with him. At this point, it looks like the township doesn't have any solid cases to deny it. We will get in writing that he's aware that there is covenants that township can't enforce, but he'll be liable in kind of courts and other decisions on his end.
So 14 visits from the police this year alone are not.
It's cured.
What?
It's cured.
It's cured when they leave, the next one's coming, then we
Yep.
got police again. That's not cured.
So there was only 5.
Right.
There was only 5 police reports from this year. One was a false report.
Yeah.
One was a false report for a burglary, which was the cleaning individuals. I believe the rest of them were noise related.
It said 14.
14
14
in total, since the new property owner. So there was only 5 this year with there's only one that we could say that the police went out more than once in one night, which would constitute unsolved. So unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to deny it unless there was 2 or more.
What about our nuisance? I mean, calling our police out 5 times for the same place that's a nuisance.
Unfortunately, the part of the ordinance that states that it needs to be an uncured violation is kind of where we're
Do we
holding
need
up.
to change the language?
It's cured every time somebody new every
Yep.
time that people leave.
Yep.
That nuisance was cured, or that, right? Leo?
Well, it's cured when the police go out and everybody retreats inside and there's no more noise.
Yep.
I mean, seriously, that's cured, right?
Until the police leave.
Is this one's owned by an LLC from
Yes.
Yes,
California?
I believe it's New York.
Oh, well, it's pretty far apart.
Is there, do they have boots on the ground here, like a local company?
No, that's one of the sticking points. He doesn't have a local managing agent on this.
Get a license.
On this year until he gives us a managing agent, we're holding that license. So he's applied for it, but we have kind of gotten back to him and told him what he needs to provide.
One of those. Did we, last meeting, Paul, we discussed you getting together with Leo in the near future to look at the TDU ordinance and see about buttoning up some of that language? Is that still on our radar?
It's on our radar. We just haven't had a chance to schedule.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Anybody else? Township engineer, John? Well, we're not voting.
Lou Ginsburg from Bartonsville and Barton Glen. And this is regards to what Mr. Velarde used to refer to as a tent city. What's happening there? I noticed he's cleaned up the lot to some extent. He's moved that front end loader off the property. But one of the original items on the enforcement notice was he had filled in a drainage ditch. He dumped dirt all over. It was mounded. It was coming onto the road. He pushed it back, but the ditch is still filled in. Anything being done about that yet?
So I did look into the kind of original subdivision plan for that. I didn't see any easement or drainage facility in there. So if there was a ditch previously, it may have been just a previous property owner did it for themselves, but it wasn't something the township required.
Well, it's a vacant lot, and about 2 years ago, the township put in 1, 2, 3, at least 3, possibly 4 culverts that run underneath Crescent Drive, and connecting the one on Mary Hill Road with the one down on the first one on Crescent Drive. There was a ditch. It drained all the water that came off the hill into the ditch, under the culvert, through the ditch, around the bend to the next culvert, and then carried it on to the creek. That ditch was filled in. He received an enforcement notice for changing the nature of the land without a permit, or however it was phrased. But he received an enforcement notice. He pushed the dirt back off the road, but the ditch is still filled in. The township had that ditch there. It was there when we moved into the development 30-something years ago. The culvert pipe is within the last 1.5 to 2 years. And that was doing the job of keeping the water flowing around down the hill and around the bend, and ultimately to the creek that runs behind those properties. Now that it's filled in, the water goes over the road again. So what's being done about the filled in drainage ditch?
So again, I can double check to see if there was some kind of requirement for that storm drainage that I didn't see in the original plan to kind of give further action. If there is earth disturbance that is causing more water to run onto the road, we can again act in a new enforcement action to kind of alleviate some of those nuisances that may be created. But to kind of address some of the concerns you had originally, he has come in. We have discussed kind of what needs to be removed from the property, that front end loader, some of those barrels. He has, last time I spoke to him, kind of removed some of the trash that was in the property. Last time I went out, he didn't completely finish the property. So we are still on track for a civil matter in front of the judge. So we'll be kind of keeping that open until we get that.
If you go back and look at the original enforcement notice that was sent out and the notice of the violation, it had in there a provision about he violated something, whatever the code provision was he moved dirt around the property. He changed the configuration of the land. He had several truckloads of dirt piled up on the edge of the road. He pushed it back in because the township zoning officer at the time said, hey, you can't have your dirt all over the road. So he pushed it off the road, covered up over the ditch, and pushed the dirt further back. And it's
Mr.
like that
Ginsburg?
as of today.
I'll take a look at that as well tomorrow, and then I'll confer with.
Yeah,
Paul, and we'll
yeah,
we'll
but
take a look at it.
there was a ditch there.
Understood. Yeah.
And and if you go beyond, around the curve, you can still see where the ditch is. The ditch is still there, but the one section right along Crescent Drive, the ditch is covered.
We'll take a look at it tomorrow.
Thank you.
There is an ongoing situation with this property owner in regards to easement and which has also resulted in some criminal proceedings as well.
John.
Thank you, Rich. I don't have too much tonight. Nothing to report on the sewer business or nothing new on Learn Road. TASA project, we staked out the curb at the intersection of Old Mill and Learn Road coming down to 611 to see how it affects that utility pole that's right there. And we don't want to move that. So we had to readjust the radius on the plans, but we can readjust the intersection alignment so we don't have to move that pole. So we took care of that. We did receive our review back from PennDOT. Still a couple of comments, but I'm happy to say they're only drafting type comments. All the engineering discussions have been satisfactorily answered by our office, so that's moving forward well. TLC Walking Bridge, we're working on both demolition plans and getting a GP to replace it. We're looking for bid date early next year and want to get the project underway in the spring of next year. And while it's not on my report, the last thing I had to report about is Back Mountain. I did do a site survey. I also ran truck templates along Back Mountain Road on a computer and reviewed PennDOT's criteria. And I do believe we can make a case to limit truck traffic on Back Mountain Road. So in the process of finalizing that, hopefully I'll have that done by next meeting for you, formal report.
And that's on geometry.
It's geometry that's,
Sure, that's the
yep,
that's the easiest one.
yep. Yeah, the road, the paving is in pretty good shape. Now, I don't know how, if we had heavy truck traffic all the time, I don't know how it would hold up, but I don't see any need to check that if we can get it on geometry.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Anybody have anything for John? John, thank you very much. Mr. Krugel, DeVito.
Thank you.
I am.
Mr. Bruegel DeVito here, sir. Been called a lot of things, Richard, and all my
Well, at least
years.
there's nothing bad, right?
Nothing bad. Well,
Just the wrong name.
Mr. Bruegel. Thank you very much. The only thing, Paul stole some of my thunder on the Brooklyn fireworks. The other decision we got from the Court of Common Pleas by Judge Zulik was denying the appeal of Mr. Varela. Patrick knows Mr. Varela well. Mr. Varela decided that he didn't like the snowplows, lives at the end of a cul-de-sac, decided that he didn't like snowplows pushing snow onto his lawn. Apparently, he's very meticulous about his lawn. So put boulders down in our right of way to restrict and prevent snow from being plowed onto his lawn. He was cited with an enforcement notice by zoning and lost his appeal, and that was affirmed by the Court of Common Pleas. I don't know whether or not it will go any further to the appellate court, but that was a nice win for us because I know that Patrick was concerned because of damage to his trucks, so it worked out well. Other than that, nothing else to report this evening.
Leo, up on 611 across from Dasaki, that building, the dilapidated building with the hole in it that we've been dealing with for years. I understand that the property, the sales for the property did not go through.
Which means that the Butts Trust is responsible for removing it by December 3rd.
Do we need to follow up with somebody like Mr. Miller with a letter to say that he's got to comply with that? or-
I'll contact Andrew Wolf.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Anybody else have anything for Mr. DeVito?
So Wednesday's the deadline for Heinz, right? Obviously, we.
Correct.
We're not.
Yeah, that pretty much unanimous. Send a note out to Jeff Worthington. I don't think Saslo is going to do anything for it.
No, he's not, except for scream and holler at me.
Oh, that's fine, but we have nuisance requirements now in our zoning ordinance that.
Well, he's paradise.
I understand he's not a resident, but I'm saying as far as we're concerned, we get complaints from our residents.
But there's, this isn't setting a precedent.
No.
Right.
Nope.
Anybody else?
Not one the Supreme Court would take. There's no precedent.
Anybody else? I'll make a motion that we adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Natasha. And she beat you. All in favor? All in favor? Aye. Any nays?